What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at again with another episode of the Just Chillin podcast. This time a breaking news episode. Excuse my hair. I literally got out the shower and then had to rush to make sure I wasn't late to the stream. I got one person backstage already. I don't know if they noticed. I was kind of breathing heavily, catching my breath. But shout out to everybody in here. We got Edward Chan, Ligma, Mike Nixon, Soul Party, Cresley, and Giants World. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe if you're new. Share out the stream. This is going to be a good one. Very interesting one. And I'm going to take probably the first 5 or 6 minutes at most here just to give my thoughts, because as usual, it's a call-in stream. And then after that, it's open floor to everybody else. So I'm just going to take some time at the beginning right now to say my piece, and then we're going to get into it. So the Giants have officially hired Brian Daboll, the man you see right there on the side, the Bills offensive coordinator, to be the 22nd head coach of the New York Football Giants. I believe I got that number right. I think it is 22nd. And let me know if the music is too loud, but I think you guys could hear me just fine. But, let me know just in case. And Brian Daboll was basically one of the 2 finalists that we all knew this race was going to come down to, that we all knew this head coaching race was going to come down to. It was between the 2 Brians, Brian Flores and Brian Daboll. I know there were technically other finalists, when you consider the guys that got second interviews. Leslie Frazier, who we literally finished his second interview just a couple hours ago. I'm not sure if there was anybody else, but technically speaking, I don't think Brian Flores ever got a second interview, which is something interesting to note. But disregard all of that, Brian Daboll was the name we've been hearing about and that a lot of Giants fans wanted to be the head coach for weeks now. You could say even about a month now. Much like Joe Schoen was a name that was talked about. In fact, during the season, as soon as Joe Schoen's name really started to got steam towards the end of the season, obviously in the offseason where we were looking for a general manager, Daboll's name was immediately connected to him. There's a reason for this. They have worked with each other before. They have good chemistry together. They have a line of communication, and they'd be on the same page. You cannot say those things for the former regime. You can't say those things for Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman, and you can't say them for Pat Shurmur and Dave Gettleman, especially with all the background news that came out about Dave and how he sort of behaved in the front office and things like that. The DeAndre Baker pick is a good one, for example. Pat Shurmur really wanted DeAndre. Dave was kind of iffy on him, and basically when Dave made the pick, he went and told Shurmur, if this guy doesn't pan out, I don't want you to complain to me, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing from, that very famous in-depth, research article that came out last month. And that's obviously not a good, that's obviously not a good line of communication between a head coach and a general manager that you'd want. And I'll definitely do that in a second, Eli. As soon as I'm finished kind of giving my thoughts, I'll post that link on Twitter. Thank you so much. If you could share it out, man, that would mean a lot. And then with Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman, we never got any sort of heated things between them. But everybody always brought up that when we made the Kadarius Toney pick, that the Dave Gettleman didn't look to be celebrating like Joe Judge was and things like that. He kind of was almost throwing a tantrum a little bit. So that line of communication, right? And working together, being on the same page, something that's great. And something that, that was really touted between Daboll and Joe Schoen. And then, of course, I guess the second biggest, or probably the biggest, actually, reason we got Brian Daboll was his offensive prowess in the past 2 years with the Bills. He's been the Bills' offensive coordinator for 4 years. Of course, the offense really came on in the past 2. He's credited along with the other guy that's on screen, Ken Dorsey, and I am going to talk about Ken Dorsey in a little bit. There's a reason his name is in the title. There's a reason his picture is up here, guys. He is credited heavily, and he should be credited heavily, because he built that Bills offense. He was the guy in charge of it from the beginning. He was the guy that built it, developed it, got players in there that worked with his scheme. And I've mentioned before, other than Stephon Diggs, weapons-wise, the Bills' weapons are, they're not like elite guys. They just work in an elite offense, if that makes any sense. And so he deserves credit for that. And the Giants' offense is the exact opposite of that. Makes sense. Bring him in. He was probably the best offensive candidate out on the market. He is going to be a first-time head coach, so there are risks, but bring him in, get him to try and fix this offense, get him to try and work with Daniel Jones, which is another thing that's been very consistent so far over the past couple of weeks. Mara has wanted to, actually give Daniel Jones a chance. He's admitted that they've done everything in their power to kind of mess this kid up. Shane has said that he's a Jones guy, and even Daboll, it's already been reports coming out and saying that he is a believer in DJ. Now, I will get to the Ken Dorsey thing. I'm not going to take up too much of y'all time before I open it up to everybody. But there has been tweets from two guys that have been saying, and the reason I trust them is because these two guys, Jordan Schultz and Bobby Thompson on Twitter, they've been saying for a while, they've been pretty consistent in saying that they believe Brian Daboll is going to be the next Giants head coach, and that came true. Now, along with Jordan Schultz, this is what he put out. I'm going to share this Chrome tab real quick. Hopefully this works here. And I will zoom in so you guys could probably get a better view of it and whatnot. As you could read right here, yeah, there you go. I'll read it right off. He says, as expected, Bills are making, oh wait, my bad. Let me read this one first, then I'll read that one. As I reported earlier this week, Daboll wanted to be in a package deal with Ken Dorsey. He's getting his wish. Source says Dorsey is currently in negotiations with the Giants to be their new OC. Bills Mafia heads down to the Meadowlands. This was made literally like a minute or two after it was announced that Brian Daboll was the head coach. And then he then quote tweeted it saying, as expected, the Bills are making an effort to retain Dorsey. The issue for Buffalo is that the Giants' negotiations revolves around a big payday. They're making a strong push for Daboll and then for Dorsey. Now, Dorsey, of course, was the quarterback coach over at Buffalo. So they're trying to get everybody over here that could just turn this offense around and bring it to something good. And then to Bobby Thompson, he tweeted about an hour ago saying Brian Daboll is bringing in Ken Dorsey as his OC. You know, he's saying it with a certainty, which is kind of dangerous, but I mean, it's something to take note of. And then I'm going to read off Daboll's introductory or not introductory, but like the statement he made. And we're going to get some callers in here, man. He said, it is an honor and privilege to be named the head coach of the New York Giants. Thank you to Joe Shane for believing in me, and to John Mara and Steve Tisch and their families for entrusting me with this position. My immediate goal is to assemble a coaching staff, a strong staff that emphasizes teaching and collaboration and making sure our players are put in the position to be their best and ultimately to win games. That's why all of us do this, to teach, to be successful, to develop talent, and to win. I have a pretty good idea where our fan base's feelings are right now, and I get it. I promise we will work our tails off to put a team on the field that you will be proud to support and give us the results that we all want. Now, in terms of any remaining thoughts I have before I get you guys on, it's just that we know just up to a couple days ago, it was heavy rumors surrounding Brian Daboll potentially wanting Don Wink Martindale to be his defensive coordinator. And all I'm going to say in regards to that is that if Wink comes here and if Ken Dorsey comes here, that's the best Giants coaching staff assembled since like 2010. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think you guys realize how good that is. It's not an exaggeration. You got one of the best offensive minds in the league. You got one of the best quarterback coaches in the league who's going to be the offensive coordinator. And you got Wink, who's like top 3, top 5 defensive coordinator in the league. That's if it happens. It's a big if. But I'm just putting it out there now, you know, just saying. Now, let me cut the music. Let me get the people on here, and let's get the first caller on, and he's going to be on with me basically the rest of the stream. He's been in here for a minute. KB, what's up, man? How you doing? Just let the people know your thoughts. And shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 58 people in here. Like the stream if you're new, subscribe, and share it out. Go ahead, bro.
So, man, listen, listen, this was what we wanted, man. This is what we wanted. And the one thing I feel like was different about this offseason from other off seasons is that pretty much the consensus like of what Giants fans wanted is what we're really getting, right? Like Joe Shane, Brian Daboll, like you know, Pat Shermer wasn't our first option, Dave Gettleman wasn't our first option, Ben McAdoo wasn't our first option, Joe Judge wasn't our first option, so on and so forth. I feel like just everything is coming to fruition with what we really want to see from the Giants. And having Daboll come in, and I was telling everybody too not to be worried about that Pat Leonard thing, because I feel like Pat Leonard was just trying to stir the Twitter masses a little bit about it. But yeah, Brian Daboll's here, and I know everybody there's some people that are kind of mad about that, like our boy Fisk. But I'm still waiting to see if he would answer me back on that one, man. But yeah, with Daboll coming in here, man, it really was the best option for us as far as a head coach goes because of what the Giants need. They just need they need offensive help. I'm not saying that's what they just need, but something that they need in a dire way is offensive help. And Brian Daboll was the first step in doing that. And if you look at his resume, he's probably one of the best guys to pick from in the NFL to bring here to develop whatever quarterback needs to be developed, whether that be Daniel Jones, whether that be any other quarterback that we bring in here. But I definitely know that he's going to help Daniel Jones in Daniel Jones's time here for however many more seasons he's got here. It could be one, it could be none, it could be, uh, after this year. But and as far as just rebuilding the offense, and how many times have the Giants just flat out been out schemed? Like, but Brian Daboll is a guy that can draw plays. Like, I'm not gonna say he's on like Andy Reid's level, but the way the Buffalo Bills move downfield is so dynamic in today's NFL. It embodies what today's NFL is as far as from an offensive viewpoint. And I think I definitely think I have a good feeling about this one, man. I really feel like this hiring is going and this regime is going to change the Giants' future for years to come, man. I really do think so.
Just real quick, I want to give a shout out to everybody here. We got 67 people and possibly growing. Slammer is the man. AB, Island Boy, AJ Nix, BQC, Alejandro, Yuvraj, Mike. I saw Vibes in here, guys. Make sure you check out Vibes on Twitter. Edward, John. Thank you all for tuning in, man. Just gonna quickly read. We got even Pest in here. The old man awaking from his afternoon nap. He's in the chat. Let me read a couple of quick chats right here. Giants World. He says Dorsey is ours. Let's see. Alan Boy says now we need Martindale. AJ Nick says Pat Leonard, the man with the Dolphin sources. Yeah, referring to what KB was just saying. And then Yovrad says, what is the nickname for Brian Daboll? I don't know if we necessarily need a nickname yet. I guess I should have said this in my opening spiel. We're all happy, we're all excited, but let's wait until we see results on the field at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. But I definitely think, especially what he's potentially going to bring. You mentioned it earlier before you brought me in. Ken Dorsey, Wink Martindale. These are two coordinators that I think, or potential coordinators that I think can really help this team out a lot. And a lot of people, were debating the whole head coach thing with offensive head coach or defensive head coach. We kind of alluded to it a little bit in the Young Guns podcast, but we also said that, pretty much in more recent years in the NFL, offensive head coaches, especially new offensive head coaches, find way more success than new defensive head coaches or even defensive head coaches for that matter, just in today's NFL. And on top of that, if you look at the kind of the candidates that we're dealing with, it looked like we were able to figure out the head coaching position and maybe figure out, I guess, hey, our defense should be good because we have a defensive minded head coach. But the big question mark was offense. Still, even if we were to hire Brian Flores or we were to hire Dan Quinn, he went back to Dallas, of course, but even if we were to hire those two, the big question would still be offense. The big question would still be Daniel Jones. Although it is still a question, we definitely have some optimism next season when it comes to Jones, when it comes to Saquon, when it comes to the offensive line. Things that we worried about this season that we possibly don't have to worry about next season. And with the defense, it was good last season. Am I worried about it this season? Not really. I feel like if we get a guy, if we keep Patrick Graham maybe, or if we get a guy like Wink Martindale, I'm not going to worry about the defense, and I'm not going to worry too much about the offense. I think this was the perfect fit, especially with the candidates that we have.
And let me go ahead and try and get our first couple callers on right here. Like I said, guys, the link is pinned in chat. I got 74 people in here. I kind of expect a good amount of callers tonight. Anybody and everybody is welcome to call in. Open show. And I'm going to try and get everybody on as I cycle through. I got Mac on right now. Mac, what's up, bro? How you feeling? Give us your thoughts.
Oh, man, you guys have pretty much said it all. But it's exciting. Good time to be a Giants fan again, man. It feels like we're finally doing it the right way again. I mean, he brought a regime in that I feel confident in. Guys that are going to actually be on the same page, not going to be bickering in the draft room, arguing over draft picks. They're gonna be on. They're
Yeah,
all gonna want the same
I just
guys.
want to say real quick, Mac. I wasn't imagining that when I said it earlier, right? I feel like everybody saw with that Kadarius Toney pick what I was talking about.
I absolutely saw it. I remember that. But yeah, it just feels really good. And I'm curious to see who's gonna get for who we are gonna get in here for a defensive coordinator. Will it be Graham just coming back? I'm okay with that. Like Kid Blue just said, I'm fine with that. Perfectly fine. If we get Wink Martindale, I'm definitely good with that. If we get Wink Martindale, but yeah, it just feels like we're finally doing things like the right way, the way NFL teams do it in 2020
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
21st century. Like,
you go back to that, you go back to Joe Judge's hiring and how random that was, right? I guess we kind of like we definitely softened up to it, but in the beginning we're like, what the hell was this? Like we look like a joke right now, getting a wide receiver special teams coach and just hiring him out of nowhere. And this is finally something that even NFL fans can look at, like people that are not Giants fans and look at and just be like, wow, that's a good hiring, that's a good hire. And I hope it winds up being true, but the first step is actually doing something that makes sense. This makes sense. So yeah.
Totally. Like I said, I'm ecstatic that problems have already been recognized. The offensive line is definitely going to be a point of interest this off season, man, because you just can't get anything done unless the offensive line gets fixed, no matter who's playing, who's the quarterback, no matter who else is on the field. The offensive line has been terrible. We got to finally get some bodies in here who knows to get the right guys. Like I said, I'm all aboard on the Linderbaum train. I don't care what people say about him being a center, and you can't draft centers that high. I'm all on the Linderbaum train, and but I'm getting like a little kid again, man. I'm getting man.
I feel like
For
a lot of
sure,
people
man, for
are
sure.
happy for like the first time this year, which makes sense, right? 2022 just began, but I haven't seen Giants fans this happy since basically week one, since week one of the regular season, since
I
before
know,
we
man.
played week one. I should clarify. And any other thoughts, Mac? Who do you want at DC? Who do you want as OC? Do you believe the reports that's out right now that basically suggest we are in negotiation with Dorsey and all that?
I mean, those reports are coming from pretty reliable sources, so I tend to believe them, man. And that'll be awesome. You get, like I said, have Ken Dorsey come in as the OC. Obviously, him and Daboll been already working hand in hand already, so that's you just know that's going to work. And maybe they can get Daniel Jones looking like a competent starting quarterback, because I mean, I'm not expecting Aaron Rodgers type things from Daniel Jones, but at the same time, I mean, maybe he can at least look like a competent starter, and people can and we can start progressing as an offense in general. And like I said, I'm a defensive coordinator. Like I said, we can get Wink Martindale. That's like best case scenario. But I'd be cool if we just brought Patrick Graham back as well, because he hasn't really failed us either in his couple years here. So I'm good with that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. Thanks for having me on, Kush, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
No problem, Mac. Guys, check out Mac's channel. It is what his name is right now, Mac the Giants fan. I'm sure he's put out a reaction video. If not already, he's going to get it up there soon. And have a good one, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next up, we going to get a member that's been in here for a minute as well. Mike, man, bro, how you feeling?
My man.
Yo, what's up, Kush? I'm
What's up?
KB.
What's
How you
up,
doing?
Mike?
Dude, I'm just rejoiced. We got who I wanted.
Yeah.
We got Shane. We got Daboll. Now there are reports, and I sent you the tweet on Discord that it's maybe looking like Graham may be back.
Okay. I'll definitely have to
Maybe
check that.
back.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it, honestly.
Especially, I
But-
do want them to try.
But
for
he
Wink.
did just have an interview in Minnesota today
For head
for
coaching
the head
position?
coaching position.
Something to keep our eye on then, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could have sworn somebody else requested for him too. Am I wrong about that?
Well, Pittsburgh requested for him as a defensive coordinator,
Yeah, you're right about that.
which, man, if he went there with that defense, woo!
He would
Yeah.
definitely be coaching, I think, one of the top, like he'd be putting out number 1, number 2 defense with that talent.
Yeah.
I'll say this though. I kind of agree with what Eli just said. I don't mind if Graham comes back, but we have basically a brand new start everywhere, right? Like I would, why not
Yeah.
go all the way? But
Yeah.
also in addition to that, right? It's like what people said earlier. Is just, yeah, man, he hasn't done anything terrible. I don't like the fact it takes a month for our defense to get started, but I wouldn't mind him if he's back.
Yeah. But man, if Patrick Graham goes, whether he goes to Pittsburgh or Minnesota, my top choice is probably a favor, Don Wake Martindale.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yep.
I mean, in addition to Wink, there's Fangio, or Fangio. I keep
Yeah.
saying Fangio, but I have a feeling Fangio is gonna go to a more veteran coaching staff. It'd be incredible if they pull that one off as well. You know, I've seen the current Raiders. Gus Bradley, I think he might also be out there on like the DC market.
He's a 4-3 guy first.
I'm just listing out names.
No. yeah, I got you.
But yeah, no, like I'd say, yeah, it's Graham, and if it's not Graham, take a shot at Wink, and I think they should definitely try and see if they could get an interview with him, just gauge where his interest is. I think they should definitely try that out.
Dude, what I've been hearing about the Raiders, man, they're gonna have some lonely times. They're looking, because yesterday a tweet came out that today they were gonna interview Josh McDaniels to be for the head coach.
Oh, what? He does it every year and never leaves. I don't understand.
And then to top it all off, the OC expected to join Josh McDaniels, Bill O'Brien.
Wow.
I'll say this. I feel like the Raiders should have kept Rich Bisaccia, however you pronounce his name, the interim head coach.
I agree.
Bro, that team was in turmoil, and he still got them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I definitely think they should have kept him.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel bad for Raiders fans if they get them too.
It's not set in stone that Rich won't get the spot, right? I think he interviewed for it. Did he interview for it?
I think he definitely did interview for it. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's not. It's possible he probably doesn't lose it yet, but maybe they're just trying to give everybody a fair shot.
I just want to read out a quick funny comment here from DB from EP. He says, "I don't care if it's my fandom. Daniel Jones throwing for 4,000, pushing P."
and I love what Ashton put. Daniel Pones.
Yeah,
that's a word I haven't heard since 2007. But Pones.
And I'll say this, Mike. What is your expectation for Daniel? Everything does seem geared towards, all right, they're gonna give him the best shot they've ever given him. And when I say they, I mean, John Mayer. He's gonna give him the best shot he's ever given Daniel to try and do something. Let me get your thoughts on that before I get the next caller on, man.
My expectations for Daniel are pretty low, to be honest.
Even with all this going on.
Yeah. Because I just don't know if he's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I say about 3,100 yards.
Wow.
I mean, he's being a realist.
We'll see. You're being very, I guess, realistic, but damn.
He's being a realist.
I'm not going to lie. If we get 2 offensive linemen in the draft, especially in the first round, and then with Brian Daboll at head coach and possibly Ken Dorsey at OC, I would be so disappointed if he finishes the season with 3,100 yards, man.
I'm going to be, between 3,100 and maybe 3,400, anywhere between there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 23 touchdowns, 24.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
That
And-
is wow, yeah. I can't say anything else other than wow. And KB, maybe turn your camera because I moved the pictures as far as I can away from your face. But if you
I'm
can, just
trying,
turn the
I'm trying
camera a
to
bit.
see
Yeah,
what's the best way I can do it.
And
yeah.
maybe 11 to 12 picks.
Hey, Mike, we'll have to see.
Hey,
We'll have
that's
to
right
see.
around his rookie season.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
like
right around
literally
his
a,
rookie season. He had,
that.
like,
Those numbers are almost
3,100.
exactly
Oh, no, he threw
his
for, like,
rookie
2,000.
season.
I think
No, he threw a little over 3,000 on under 3,100.
So it's like definitely his rookie
that's what I'm
season.
saying. It's like
Hey,
almost his
that
rookie
would
season
be
stats.
that would be I guess an upgrade. You know what
I'm-
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mike, let me get your last thoughts before I pop you out, bro. Thank you for calling in as usual.
Just sub up Kush and sub up KB. And these two are bros, and and you're just awesome.
Thank you, man. You're an
Appreciate you,
awesome friend
man.
too, bro.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
good
Yeah.
one, Mike.
You too.
Before I get Nate on, there was a hilarious thing in chat. Shout out to Hit Squad in here. Leo says I should get waves. Can I even get waves? Because if I could get waves, you best
So
believe
yeah, first of all,
I'm getting.
first
Wait,
of all, I don't
real quick. You best believe I'm copping 7 different silkies, right? A different color for each day, and I'm rocking them, and I'm getting waves if possible, bro. That's all I'm saying.
First of all, I don't know if you addressed it in the chat, but this can't go unaddressed. Did my man get a perm?
No, this is I said it earlier, right? So I got out the shower when I was rushing her to make sure I wasn't late. This is how my hair looks like before I brush it or anything.
You know how I envy you, bro. I envy
You
I wish
shouldn't.
I had
Curly
curls.
hair is a curse. You know how hard it is to brush and take care of?
I had curly hair, bro. That would
It's
be a burden I
oof.
would love to live with.
All right, but that
oh, my hair is so bad.
it's
dude.
not
I don't even
fun,
wanna
bro.
get into it.
Nate, what's up, man? Coming in with the curly hair conversation, but that's not what you're here for.
What's up,
Listen,
Nate?
you know me. I'll talk about anything. So
Yeah. So how you feeling, man? Just go right ahead, bro. There ain't no need for no introduction.
I feel fantastic. Good to talk to you guys again, KB. It's been a minute. Always good to see you,
Sir,
Kush.
yes, sir.
Let me just ask you guys a question here. Obviously, Brian Daboll, that was sort of something that a lot of people expected to happen. We were the favorites for him. He was the favorite for us. That was kind of the expected thing. And I think the Bills fans were kind of like, all right, it was bound to happen eventually. We have our good offensive coordinator replacement. If we take Ken Dorsey, is this officially bullying? Are we officially bullying
No,
the
we're
Bills?
officially the New York Bills, bro.
I said this thing. I said it on Twitter. I was like, if we have Brian Daboll, we got Joe Shane as our GM, we got Ken Dorsey as our offensive coordinator. This is potentially right. Ken Dorsey as offensive coordinator and Wink Martindale as DC. How can we be outcoached? Like,
Yeah,
I know I'll be speaking too soon. Of course, this is the New York Giants franchise, but how can we be outcoached? Like, we had so many problems being outcoached with Pat Shurmur, Ben McAdoo, Joe Judge. How will we ever come out of a game and be like, damn, we were really outcoached that game? I don't.
Yeah.
That just can't be possible. It can't be.
Hey, don't jinx it now.
Doesn't seem it.
No,
And
I don't want to jinx it. You know,
Let me get
is
this
still
super
the
chat
New York
real quick
Giants,
before I
you know?
forget about it. Shout out to Michael
Yes.
for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it, man. He says, do you think Joe slipped up by saying we got 11 picks, which means Graham is gone? How does that mean Graham is gone? We get an extra third for a GM and another
I see
third
what
for
you're saying.
compensatory by releasing a minority
so-
coach.
It's part of the I believe this is a subset of the Rooney Rule, but it's something about if you have a minority coach that leaves and gets a head coach job, not a head coach job, a job as a coordinator or a head coach somewhere
I
else,
heard something about that. Yeah.
something like that, you get compensatory picks, which is way too complicated and over my head. But the point is,
Yeah.
if Pat Graham leaves and goes somewhere else, I think we get picks. Not entirely sure. It's also
Yo, listen,
possible that.
Pat Graham.
Hold up.
That Minnesota
It's
job
also-
looking good, bro.
Dude, it's also very possible that Shane was just misunderstanding the previous deals because there was a possibility for us to get a couple of late rounders, I think a 6th and the 7th, if certain conditions for the Ryan Santoso trade had been met, and one other trade that I don't remember. But those didn't hit, so we didn't get those late rounders. So right now we're on 9 picks. It could have been 11. Probably just a slip up. Maybe it is. Maybe he's playing 4D chess and he's dropping Easter eggs for Giants fans. I kind of doubt it personally. But yeah, honestly, for me, now that we've taken care of the Brian Daboll aspect of that, and if he does bring along Ken Dorsey, the Pat Graham versus Wink Martindale argument is just, how can we have a better problem than that? Or do we want Patrick Graham or Don Martindale as our defensive coordinator? That is the best possible
Yeah,
problem
exactly.
to have.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
fantastic.
I
And yeah,
agree.
KB is saying, how can we be outcoached? We have a great scheme coming in. Getting Ken Dorsey in there would be huge, by the way.
Yeah,
Because
it would.
having that guy at coordinator is so big. Because once you're reaching up to head coach, that takes a lot of time away from Daboll on the practice field to be directly in contact with his offense. And Ken Dorsey would really solve that problem for us. Aside from the fact that he developed Josh Allen, we hope he can do that for Daniel Jones. But the point is, having that and then also having a defensive guy like Martindale, this is a fantasy for a lot of Giants fans like myself, who the biggest problem I've had with the team for years is a lack of aggression. Not physically, we're not going to hit. I mean, a lack of philosophical aggression. Not going for it on fourth down ever. Not passing the ball with any sort of confidence. Granted, we've had problems along the way, but our scheme has refused to evolve. Our coaches have refused to get with the times and use any analytics, it seems like. I'm excited to see this team coached like we're living in 2022.
Yes.
Not only that, I think you just brought up with Ken Dorsey, but I think we definitely need to talk about, or at least explore the idea of, or take seriously, I guess, that they are gonna do as much as they can to help out Daniel Jones. Because I'll just come out and say it. I'll be honest with you guys. I did think it was a little bit of a smokescreen when you know Shane came in and he said, "Yeah, I believe in him." Because I was like, "What else? He's not gonna come in and denounce his current quarterback." But now you have him saying it. You had Mara saying what he said just a couple days ago in Shane's introductory press conference, that we've done everything in our power to basically make the kid fail. And then Daboll has also said that, yeah, he believes Daniel Jones could be somebody in the NFL. So everything is pointing towards that. And I'm like, you know what? Yep, fine. This is what I wanted anyway. I wanted them to let him get a legit opportunity in his fourth year. I am not going to give him the fifth year option. I am still just letting him play his fourth year as the fourth year, and whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for me, it's just about, at this point, like, as much as I would like to see Daniel Jones stay another year, and that's a whole other conversation to have as to why. We've talked about this a lot, but we'll cover it in a few minutes on the stream, because it is something that needs to be talked about again now that we're refocusing here. But the fact that he's saying it, possibly the sources say Ken Dorsey also likes him. We got ownership talking about how we failed the kid. Shane believes it. Those are all big things. The only thing I would caution fans is, let's not cross the line from confidence that Jones will be back to certainty, because it is not a certainty.
Also,
and by the way, just to finish this off, I promise you, I understand fully that the situations are not one-to-one comparisons, but we all need to remember what happened with Josh Allen. Let's not pretend that everything that these guys are saying can't be a complete lie.
Oh, you mean
these
Rosen?
NFL organizations have no obligation to be truthful to the media, you know?
I think you meant Rosen there, right?
Them the best shot. What did I say?
Allen.
Oh,
Yeah, Allen. But yeah.
But then,
You
so
knew what
to
I
add
meant.
on,
I caught on to what you were saying.
to add on to that, to what you were saying, not to get too confident about something. And shout out to Bark Nasty. He has been calling this for a week. He's been saying it for a while now that he thinks that's going to be the coaching staff. Another thing that Giants fans need to kind of stop doing is the Josh Allen comparison. Yep. No, Daniel Jones is not going to become Josh Allen.
Right.
No, whatever future quarterback we bring in is not going to become Josh Allen just because we got the coach that made Allen who he is, which is another point.
I think
some fan. Oh, let me just finish off this point real quick,
ahead.
KB. Some fans feel like because we brought in Brian Daboll, we're gonna fail because Allen isn't with us. I'm like, you fail to realize that he built that offense. Sean McDermott is a defensive head coach, and I feel some fans don't really actually realize that Sean McDermott is a defensive head coach. Everything on the offensive side of the ball, the good, the great, and yes, even the bad, is all Brian Daboll. That's completely his Zen mode, I guess you could say.
His Zen mode.
But here's the thing.
Haven't heard that term before.
Yeah, we're not going to turn Jones into Allen. I've seen fans doing this. What you need to use the Josh Allen example as is, okay, this is what Brian Daboll could do. He could take somebody and see their potential and see where their possible ceiling is and help them get to that. Because let's not forget, the first 2 years Allen was in the league, that's all people saw in him, potential, but he wasn't exactly delivering on that potential until the third year. So that's what we need to realize Brian Daboll is. He's somebody that could help the quarterback get to where he could probably be. And go ahead,
and
KB.
Sorry. I just want to tack on the cub before we move on from that point. I absolutely agree. And the big thing to emphasize there is what Shane said in his press conference, which I swear to God, I felt like I was watching a different team's GM talk to the media. But he said, we're going to use the strengths that our players have. We're going to accentuate what Daniel Jones does well. even if we don't end up sticking with Daniel Jones, even if he's just applying those principles to other players, I swear it's like I'm watching a different team's press conference. I have waited so long to hear those words from a Giants general manager. But anyway, sorry to interrupt. KB, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to Hub's point because he kind of said what I wanted to say there. It was like, when we talk about Josh Allen, everybody thinks that we're thinking that Daniel Jones is going to be Josh Allen. That's not what we're trying to say at all. I'm basically using Josh Allen's career as like a resume for Brian Daboll, like what he's able to do. You guys remember Josh Allen coming out of the draft. Was he one of the most highest potential quarterbacks out there? Yes, he was, but he needed a lot of work coming out of Wyoming. Josh Allen did. And his second year, Josh Allen's second year, by the end of the second year, people were thinking that he may be a bust. Okay, that's how far down people were low on Josh Allen. His third year, I know a lot of people attribute, Stephon Diggs, helping him out or whatever. But Brian Daboll did a lot of that to try to build around him as well.
Definitely.
The GM try to build that around him as well. Brandon Beane did a great job in building the offensive line, getting more weapons for Josh Allen. And you look at the development of Josh Allen and look at the development of the offense as a whole. They're one of the best offenses in the league. The Buffalo Bills were never a great offense going back. You can go back plenty of quarterbacks, plenty of years ago. They were not a good offense. They had some good players, but they're most known for their defense over the years. Their offense is now a dynamic, high-powered offense. So I'm basically just using the Buffalo Bills offense and most importantly Josh Allen as sort of a resume, or I guess kind of an example of what Brian Daboll is able to bring to a team. Now, how he's able to bring it to a different team is still up for question, but he definitely brings a lot to be excited for. Definitely.
And one thing that I just got to bring up again, and I know we've sort of hit it with glancing blows during this conversation, but I just want to address this head on. It bothers me. It really bothers me that there's this misunderstanding about coaching hires with the idea of a defensive and an offensive coaching hire. Let's get one thing straight. Yes, there's a lot of coaches. Most coaches have one thing they know very, very well, and that's their specialty, and that's what they can be innovative with and do best for a team. That's absolutely correct. But it's not like these guys are one-trick ponies. And it's not like when Brian Daboll comes in here as an offensive-minded head coach, who, by the way, was a defensive assistant for the Patriots. Let's not forget that.
I read up on that. He was on the other side of the ball.
Yeah. Let's not forget that. There's that, which only helps his understanding of offense, because you can't understand one without having at least a solid understanding of the other. There's not just that, but when you have a coach who's maybe better at one than the other, if you're doing it right, you're going to hire a coordinator that can compensate for that. That's been our problem, is Joe Judge was not an offensive-minded guy, and he got saddled with Jason Garrett. That's what Brian Flores' problem was in Miami. He didn't have a good offensive coordinator. He just couldn't hire coordinators. If we have Brian Daboll coming in here, and we have Patrick Graham, who we already know is a pretty solid defensive coordinator, or we get Don Martindale, who's one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, in my opinion, I think we're perfectly fine. This isn't magically going to lose our defense for us. And it bothers me that people they think it's like having a video game character where you're choosing a class for your character, and if you choose the wrong one, you completely lose the other half of the ball. That's not how football works. And it's the same thing with the idea of having certain things on your team. People say, oh, well, if you can have this, it's going to sacrifice this. I don't understand why. This may be just because we're Giants fans and we're conditioned to not want nice things. You can have good things everywhere on your team if you're doing it right. You can have good coaching on both sides of the ball. You can have talent on your defense while still having a good offensive line and a good quarterback. These are things you're very much allowed to do under the NFL rules. We've just sucked too bad to do it recently. So it's not like when you make one of these decisions, if you pick Brian Daboll over Brian Flores, which we've just done, we're not saying, oh, we're going to throw the defense out the window. That's not a thing that's going to happen, okay? Let's just understand that as football fans here. But I just went on a very long rant. Someone can pick this back up after I stop.
Okay, Kush.
I was just gonna say, interesting points. I've seen a couple people in the chat bring up, most recently Jonathan Studios with a 7, talking about Mitch Trubisky and obviously talking about bringing in Mitch Trubisky as a possible backup. I'm definitely considering it more now. I don't know why I completely forgot that Mitch was actually on the Bills this year. That just slipped my mind. But it would make sense if they bring in somebody they have experience with to be a backup QB. And believe it or not, some Giants fans gonna have to accept this. Yeah, Mitch would be kind of competition for DJ. That would, I think, light a fire under him. Even though some people maybe think DJ is way better, I'm not saying I disagree, but that would be competition in my eyes. And he's definitely better than Mike Glennon. We gotta get rid of Mike Glennon.
Oh my God, I couldn't. Oh my gosh, I can't even think about Mike Glennon anymore, man. Mike
Yeah.
Glennon or Jake Fromm.
Fear the neck.
And honestly too, I was talking about this with Kush last week. It's kind of irrelevant because honestly, we don't feel like we feel like the team is on to a better direction, and we don't have the same offensive coaches we had before. But you look at Daniel Jones, and we don't even know if Daniel Jones is going to be our quarterback next season. But you look at Daniel Jones, what he was able to do with the offense that we had, I have to give him so much respect because if you look at Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm out there, dear God, they couldn't even complete a pass.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't complete a pass. That's how bad it was.
KB, if they couldn't complete a pass, how did we get -10 passing yards? You're clearly lying, sir. I will not tolerate this slander on Cush's channel.
You're absolutely right. And we also had like plus 10 passing yards at the end of the first half in that final game against Washington too. It was so
yeah, no,
bad.
like those
So
final what was it? Those final 6 games definitely showed. Daniel. He means a lot to this mediocre offense.
He's definitely the MVP of our team, right?
This is the idea with quarterbacks that a lot of people don't understand. You can have a bad starting quarterback, and that is still very different than not having a starting quarterback. And the most recent conversation I had this about was Jimmy Garoppolo. And the argument I was having with someone was whether or not Jimmy Garoppolo held back San Francisco. And someone brought up that without San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan is 8-28, and San Fran is with his backup quarterbacks. And that the point I made in response to that is, so Kyle Shanahan, that means, is 8-28 with a quarterback worse than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the context here. If you can say that Daniel Jones isn't a great starting quarterback, as Giants fans, we maybe don't have a great argument for that right now. But we can say Mike Glennon is considerably worse.
Yeah, and I would definitely say that Daniel Jones is a starter. Just to add on what you said,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Daniel Jones is a starter in this league. I believe so.
I was just going to say, I knew I was going to get a good amount of Carson. I got Vibes up next, then Ash. Then Classify, we got Joel popping back in, then BPS, and then Miz. So, Nate, definitely let me get your last thought. Guys, Nate is involved with a podcast go ahead. You explain it, yeah.
Yeah, so I am going to be stepping away from that for a quick while because I'm about to start up my own channel again.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just entered into the second semester, my final semester of high school. So my load is considerably lighter. So I'm gonna get.
You're young, bro.
Yeah, I am.
Good,
I
man.
am.
That's
so
good.
I am gonna be starting up my own YouTube channel again, which is exciting. But Joel and Pat are going to be continuing doing a show called The Pick Is In, where they're going to keep looking at some prospects. We already did a couple of episodes.
I don't mean to interrupt. As of 9 p.m., Bobby Thompson tweeted out, the same guy that trustworthy, that like the Giants and Ken Dorsey are working on the deal right now. Both sides want to get it done. I did not see the one that's as of 9 p.m. So just quick update. That's pretty cool. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just gonna say it's a great show. We do some tape breakdown. You should go check that out. I won't be there at least for a while, but Joel and Pat, are going to continue doing this show. They're going to keep doing a great job. So plug that. That's my little spiel. Thanks for having me on, Kush. Good to talk to you again, KB. And good luck with the rest of the show.
For sure, man. Have a great one,
man.
guys. The channel is Nate Talks Football. You'll find it. It will pop up. Have a good one, man. And then Vibes, what's up, bro? How are you doing?
AB, you're not wrong, man. Well, what's up, Vibes?
Vibes, we just got an update that I just read, man. It looks like they're getting this thing done to bring Ken Dorsey in here.
No, listen, Ken Dorsey, man, is definitely the guy that's going to come in here. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They can't stop a promotion. They can't stop any money coming in at this point.
Mara is finally reaching into his pockets from that one tweet that said, even though the Bills should have the advantage, the Giants are looking to give him a payday.
Absolutely. Even though they was talking about, what Josh Allen was comfortable with, in contracts, they cannot block a promotion. So at this point, the Giants are giving him a promotion, more money. The Bills got to let him go unless they make him the OC and pay him more money, obviously. But in that case, that's not going to happen. The guy wants to coach for the Giants and see what he can do with Daniel Jones. Because again, if you know how business works, you talk to your guy and say, hey, I'm about to get a promotion. I need you to come with me. 9 times out of 10, the guy that you like is going to be like, sure. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of what the contract's going to be. So we're going to have the guys that we're looking for. I'm excited about it. What a future. This is finally the change the fans have been looking for. We won. The fans have won. We have spoken.
Yes.
We got the people we wanted. Now it's time to be optimistic about the future. As far as Patrick Graham, and I was thinking, I was on board of keeping Patrick Graham. I was like, you know what? He
Yeah, I
built
am
this
too.
defense.
Mhm.
But let me throw this out there with you guys as well. If we keep Patrick Graham, and let's say Daboll, something happens with Daboll starts to fail, that divide in that locker room, a lot of those players are going to go to the old coach and look at Patrick Graham and be like, well, what the hell is this guy talking about? You know what I mean? So that could cause a divide. So
Yeah,
if you get a new person like a Wink or another defensive coordinator, now you have Daboll trying to bring that team together instead of causing that divide where players can go to the guy that they know more and more comfortable with of talking about their problems. So I say clean house completely. Get rid of Graham. Let's bring in a defensive coordinator, even though I love Graham. But let's bring in like Wink. Let's bring in another guy that's
Yeah.
going to help here at this point.
And to add to your point too, when you're saying earlier, the fans won. The fans are getting what we want. I said that earlier in the stream. It was like this is the first time where, as a pretty much a majority of the fans got what they wanted. Like you look at past years, and we're like, oh my god, we hired Pat Shermer, we hired Joe Judge. Who's Joe Judge?
Can we talk about the 2018 one for a second, KB? I want you to talk about the 2018 one because we all know about the 2021. Judge came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Where did Pat Shermer also come out of nowhere, or was Pat Shermer like a legit candidate?
Pat Shermer was okay. The big candidate back in 2018 was Josh McDaniels.
Correct.
He was like about to come to New York, and then all of a sudden he pulls away, stays in New England, and it was the Giants that just, I guess, out of panic. I don't know if it was out of panic. I could be wrong about that, but they just immediately hired Pat Shermer right after that. And then, so that's what happened there. But
so is this the first time we actually got one of, if not the top head coaching candidate in the past 10 years? Then,
but if you look at 2018 as well, I don't even think Giants fans wanted Josh McDaniels. Like we didn't want anyone. Those candidates were trash. So we look at the candidates now, and we look at Brian Daboll. We got the guy we wanted. The Giants didn't go out and freaking hire Lou whatever his name is, the Bengals defensive coordinator. Like that would be such a Giants thing to do, in past years. Now it just really seems like the fans are, I guess have some, I wouldn't say control, but we definitely, I guess, have influenced something in my honest opinion. I mean, the ownership is doing things that are trying to appease us a little bit. Getting rid of Joe Judge, the fans wanted that to happen. I think Mara even said it. He didn't want to get rid of Joe Judge.
It was Tish that walked in. Tish was like, we needed a clean sweep.
Right. So, I honestly feel like we're getting what we want. The fans are getting what we want for the first time in what it seems like forever.
Anything to add to that, Vibes?
And think of it to that too. I mean, the fans were tired, right? So at this point, the Giants way just wasn't working. So the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing, expecting the same, different results, whatever the case is, right? So at this point, the Giants way just wasn't working. They were outdated. If you look at Joe Shane's interview on Tiki and Turney, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He's talking about the draft room was outdated. So they
he said we still had whiteboards with magnets.
So again, it just wasn't working. We were outdated. We wasn't following the analytics. The Giants had to go this route because fans were starting to rebel. Fans were starting to sell their season tickets.
Yeah.
This was enough. So when you start affecting the bottom line, the Giants are going to listen. We are the customers. We are the consumers. And the product that they've been putting out for about 10 years or more just hasn't been it. We went to one playoffs back in I guess the Odell 2015, 2016. But still, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So the fans got tired of the losing ways. The Giants had to make a change and go outside the organization. Now, is it fully outside the organization? Because Joe Shane has ties to Bill Parcells and has ties to a little bit of an old Giants way.
And a lot of people are speculating that Parcells was talking to Mara about him.
Correct. So you still have that tie as well to the Giants. But I really do think, and you know what, and I said this in a tweet earlier, or way before the hiring even started for general manager. I said the real change if they hired Ryan Poles. But I wouldn't be mad at the two. You know what I mean? So, again, Joe Shane is still a great candidate, and it seems like Mara's having a hands-off approach because he's getting Daboll, which supposedly he wanted Flores a little bit more, but he's getting Daboll, and he's getting Dorsey and paying whatever money to get Dorsey in here as well. So
I want to highlight something about that Edward just pointed out in chat. He says, apparently we can't hire Dorsey until we interview two minorities per the Rooney Rule. I don't think we're gonna lose Dorsey because of that, Edward. Because if it is genuine mutual interest, then maybe he is gonna wait until we get those interviews done. But what do you guys think about that?
To be honest, I didn't even show that applied, but I'm sure the Rooney Rule.
I don't think the Rooney Rule applies to coordinators.
He
I
was
don't think
saying
so.
that
I
was
gotta
put
look into
out
that.
by the guy we're trusting right now, Schultz.
Then where does it stop? Do you have to interview 2 minority offensive line coaches? Like, you don't have to do that. You know,
I would think it probably. Oh yeah, this is by Jordan Schultz. Once again, the guy that's been on
That's
Daboll for a
interesting.
couple weeks and the one that
Is
has
that-
been reporting the entire situation with Ken Dorsey.
I never
have
knew
we
that.
have we done that? Is that a new implication?
I have no idea.
I never knew that. I thought it was for head coaching and GMs. I didn't know. It
Yeah,
applied to
me too.
coordinators.
I thought it was okay.
I'll look into
What
it.
up,
I could be wrong.
Authentic in the chat? How you doing, Vance?
Authentic.
What
But
up,
yeah,
So,
man,
Authentic?
this is definitely a happy day for Giants fans, man. Like I said, we got everything we wanted. So if it goes, the only thing I'll say this. Now we got to be patient. This is a process that is going to take a while. It's not going to be an overnight. It's not going to be a 1-year thing. I think this is a 3-year plan. And I think we're going to have to sit back and just see. The thing is, if we compile 6 wins, then the next year 7, 8, then we're trending in the right direction. But this is where we're going to have to be a little bit patient because this roster is it needs depth. It needs depth. These young kids got to learn a whole new playbook or whatever the case is. So this is going to take some time. I just urge Giants fans to be a little patient when it comes to this season and the next season, to be honest with you.
Let me I'll share my screen right now so you guys could actually see it, and then if there's any thoughts that might have changed about I guess the likeliness of this happening, vibes and whatnot, let me know. But here it is. This is the guy that's been basically predicting everything and keeping us updated with the Ken Dorsey situation. You have it right there.
Wow. Yeah. Unfortunately,
have
this is
to-
new to me. I gotta look into that.
I have to look into it because, like, when you, I've seen a bunch of these things. People getting interviewed for offensive coordinator, defensive. I never seen candidates come out that have to be two minority ones. I've never seen that.
I mean, think about it this way: when we hired Jason Garrett, we didn't interview an African American,
Right.
coordinator. So I don't know. I don't know because if we had Patrick Graham, I don't know. But that's something that's new to me, and unfortunately, I don't know. I got to look into it. Forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
like I said to Edward's other comment earlier, where I was just like, I don't think it's gonna necessarily prevent us from like getting him. It's especially if there's actual mutual interest. I would assume he'd wait it out. That's just me though. That's just me.
But I would just feel bad for any of the candidates that really just had to be brought in there because, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
It's a
okay,
waste of time.
yeah, it's like a waste.
Like
It's
this
like,
point.
all right, I guess you heard the news. We're trying to get Ken Dorsey
So,
here, but we have to interview you.
So
You know what I mean?
Fluid, a guy named Fluid in the chat, a viewer. I mean, I don't know why I said a guy, a viewer. He says it is a new rule for the coordinators. I don't know. We'll have to
I
see.
guess that's going to be an awkward interview.
Right?
That really is.
We'll definitely have to look into that. If anybody in chat could pull up any type of information on that, let us know. And then also, shout out to Diggy. He made a tweet that I agree with. He was like, the fact that Dorsey didn't sort of automatically accept the promotion in Buffalo kind of shows the respect he has for Brian Daboll almost.
Absolutely. I mean,
for sure.
again, that's like you and KB, right? Saying you're about to move up and get a CBS deal, and you say, "Hey, KB, I'm gonna go with you." And I know YouTube's giving you some money, but I got this CBS thing, which is more national. KB's gonna be like, "All right, no problem." You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because y'all boys, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I'm sure that conversation was had way before he got the head coaching job or whatever the case is. So that's like me going, and I'll use retail as a thing. That's like me as a store manager getting promoted to a store manager, and I look for my assistant. I'll go to the guys that's there, like, listen, you got to come with me as my assistant.
Right,
It just happens. So I'm sure that conversation was definitely had, but I'm just excited to see what the both of them could do at this point.
Would it be hilarious? I don't know why this popped into my mind. We'd really be the New York Bills if our new defensive coordinator is Leslie Frazier. The New York Bills. It just popped into my mind, man.
Well, yeah, I like Leslie as a defensive coordinator, but he's 4'3", so I don't know. I'm not about that.
We'll see. I'm sure whoever the new defense coordinator is, they'll just do their best job to give us the best defense out there.
Yeah, I want 3-4 though. I'm not trying to switch back to 4-3.
Vibes, let me get your last thoughts, man. Oh, go ahead. You were about to say something.
Oh, no. Like I said, we don't have the personnel, but yeah, last thoughts. I know your line is full, and I wanted to stop in really quick, but listen, guys, we got our guy. Now let's be patient and
Yes,
let
sir.
them do their job. And
Yes, sir.
congratulations to the Giants fans today.
Let's be patient and let's also keep expectations a bit realistic. Yeah.
Absolutely. Please, we're not
Let's
going to no Super Bowl.
yeah.
Please,
Like
guys.
like Mike Nixon realistic. He
Yeah.
basically just like predicted
Was
like,
Mike Nixon a little too realistic?
yeah, he was kind of like depressingly realistic, but
And
But you
Vibes,
know what?
before you go, so a
I'll
couple
sign up.
people.
I'll sign up for Daniel Jones's numbers. By the way, I heard them all earlier. That's
yeah,
his rookie
yeah.
numbers. I'll sign
That's
up for
rookie
that. I think
numbers,
that's an
yeah.
improvement.
So
Yeah.
Vibes, before you go, I'll read this. 3 people just posted in the chat. They looked it up for us. I'll read them in order. Classified says, May 2020, the league changed the Rooney Rule to require teams to interview at least 2 external minority candidates for head coaching job and at least 1 external minority candidate for
Man.
coordinator. Jonathan says there's several changes here to the Rooney Rule. For the first time, clubs must interview a minority candidate for any offensive, defensive, or special teams coordinator as of May 2020. And then Steven also reported the same thing. So it is a thing.
Wow, I appreciate that. Shout out to the chat.
Yeah, and great job, Chad. But I get the heart and intention of the league doing that, but man, they are not making it like.
I don't think it's a very intuitive rule. I don't think it's an intuitive rule, bro.
Yeah, if I'm a minority, like Mike Tomlin was very outspoken in saying that he didn't like that rule either. But if I'm a minority coach and somebody comes and offers me an interview and they're pretty much set on on somebody else, I'm gonna feel insulted by, hey, you just need me so you can hire your other guy.
Yeah.
What what am I gonna go all the way over there for? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
No, exactly. I completely agree with that. It's not an intuitive rule. It makes sense for obviously the head coaching jobs. For the coordinator levels, it's like, because usually most head coaches that are hired have guys in mind that they want to bring in for their staff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, there's a waste of time, especially at that level. Let the guys go in and do their thing. Again, I get the whole why it's there, why it's implemented, but
Yeah.
it's, again, like you said, KB, I'm a guy coming in, I'm going to be like, why are you wasting my time and why am I in a suit? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are we doing here? I'm in a suit. Yeah, come on, man.
Like, I'll just walk around a facility and I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yo, you know what? Give
waste of
him some
time.
good food, so at least he don't leave empty-handed or something.
Exactly.
Here's
Let me
a
pack
souvenir
a
or something, I don't know.
exactly pack a doggy bag or just something.
Participation trophy.
Listen, listen. If
But
they're
guys,
trying to
yes,
be a bit
women, bro.
difficult, man, give him a little Mercedes or something. The Maris could afford it.
Mercedes.
I'll take that too.
Yeah,
But
Vibes.
I know
Thank you
guys
so
have
much,
a
man.
packed show, so I'm gonna run. I appreciate you guys having me.
Guys,
All right,
make
bro.
sure you follow Vibes on Twitter. We do the Twitter Spaces, and he also is part of New York Revival on YouTube. Go check them out.
Appreciate you. Peace.
Next up, we got Ash, aka Ashton Money, but that's not his real last name. What up, Ash? How you doing?
What's going on, man? What's
What
going
up? What up, man?
Just go right ahead, man. Just get all the thoughts out.
on? How do I feel?
Yeah, anything and everything.
How do I really feel?
Yeah.
Oh, we got him!
I knew it.
We got him!
I knew it. He was
We
too calm.
got him!
He was too calm.
We got him! Listen, the
Yes,
more,
sir.
the more I think about it in just the situation, and maybe I'm a little bit too hype. I'm gonna keep my expectations low.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
the situation that it's in is phenomenal. I've said this even when Joe Judge was still the head coach. You fire Dave Gettleman, you fire Joe Judge, and you give the new guys, the new regime. I thought we had 10 draft picks, but I guess we have 9. But you give them this draft with 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. You give them the ability to set the tone and bring in set their foundation with this team. That I didn't care about, next year. I didn't care about giving Judge one more year. This was the year to do it. I didn't care about the cap situation. You build this team with your players, your foundation, your young draft picks. This is how you do it, right? Now, and you were on my stream earlier. I've said this. No matter who it is, no matter who Brian Daboll wants to, I'm fully behind Daniel Jones right now because Daniel Jones is going to be in a great situation. Arguably, not even arguably,
Not arguably, his best situation. Yeah,
he's been in. If you get 2 offensive linemen with Neal, Kwanu, Linderbaum, whoever, you've got the best offensive coach he's had. Blase. He's gonna be in the best situation. So I'm hoping, if the neck is right, if everything's right, I'm pulling for him, right? I kind of cut out. I'm sorry, but like whoever it is. And I'm not saying I want any. I'm just saying whoever it is, whether it's Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, whoever it is, the Giants need to find their guy at quarterback because the NFC is about to be wide open. We have reports coming out that Tom Brady, or people saying close to Tom Brady, believe he's retiring. Aaron Rodgers is leaving Green Bay. Sean Payton is out of the Saints. Those are at least two major powerhouses in the NFC that are gone. Tampa, unless they bring in Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson or somebody, Tampa's not going to be what they were.
Kyle Trask for the win, man. Kyle Trask for the win.
Yeah, no, today reports came out earlier today that said, people really close to Tom believe that he's going to retire this year or this offseason. And then like you said, Peyton being gone, that's a big hit to the Saints. I think a lot of it does have to do with maybe he looked at the situation and he's like, listen, I'm out, man. Those are two powerhouses that are gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Packers. I mean, are we going to be
if Rodgers is gone?
If Jordan Love's not the next great quarterback they have in their franchise, and after Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, I don't really think that. I mean, really, the NFC is going to run through the two teams that are in the championship right now with San Francisco and the Rams because they have a great offensive mind to coach, and their team is really young. I don't know about the Rams. They're probably going to be here for at the top for another 2-3 years. Based on the situation with their draft capital stuff, but I'm not calling Sean McVay out. I think he's still a great coach. So
and then also another one you could probably add in there. I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but the Cardinals definitely have questions with their own team as well, another team that was in the playoffs.
I mean, Kingsbury. I'm not one to call for somebody to be fired. I'm not that at all, but I think Kingsbury definitely should be on the hot seat. I mean, the Cardinals and him been choking down the stretch of their last couple of games in the past 2-3 years. So that, I mean, Dallas is going to be in a tough situation next year. So you're really looking at Matthew Stafford really as the best quarterback in the NFC with Brady and Rodgers gone. So, and this not just for Giants fans. This is for any team. If you're a fan of any team in the NFC.
If you're a fan of the Eagles, you should be thinking the same way.
Yeah. This is a reality check. The NFC is wide open. So you need all the great quarterbacks are over on the AFC. So you have a free chance to make it to at least the NFC Championship. I'm not freaking confident. I'm just saying, if you get your guy, you can make it to the NFC Championship because it's, you're just gonna have to face up against the Rams or the 49ers, and then depending on how it goes. But in order of with the Brian Daboll, Daddy Daboll.
Hey, yo, pause.
Bro, that's his nickname, bro.
No,
did somebody
no.
somebody in chat was like, yo, we need a Daboll nickname.
Yeah.
This man comes
y'all better clip that.
Bro.
I want somebody to clip that, put it on Twitter, tag me, and tag Ash in that. That was ridiculous.
I don't give a damn. It is Daddy Daboll and Daddy Danny.
No.
I don't give a damn.
This
Tell you that right
man.
now.
This man going off. Okay.
Every time Daboll comes through those doors in the Giant, I want to hear, well,
it's the big show.
I need to hear that.
Y'all can't lie to me. Brian Daboll does look like the big show, bro. It's the big bad show tonight.
Listen, now but this is serious side.
Wrestling fans.
Listen, Brian Daboll. It was the best side because this dude, Brian Daboll, for those of you who don't know, he's been throughout the NFL. It's not like he's this first-time guy. He's been throughout the NFL since 2000 with the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Jets. Went back to the Patriots and then the Bills. So that's like, what did I name, 5 or 6 teams?
Mm-hmm. He's been around a lot.
He's been around. So this guy, he knows, I'm just going to assume he knows what he's doing. I'm not going to say he's going to be our next great head coach like how they did with Judge and put him on a picture with Bill Parcells and Tom Wolf. I'm not going to say that, but he knows what he's doing. And the offensive side of the ball is going to be straight, So then, like you said, Hub, and you said it, I forgot exactly where, but I remember you were on record for saying this. If you hire Brian Flores, you're gonna have to put your faith in Pep Hamilton, Mike Kafka, positional coach.
I was saying that I put the video out yesterday, I believe, and I'm like, the real issue with looking at Brian Flores as a head coach isn't even to me. All of the reports coming out of Miami is the fact that you're taking a risk at an
Offense.
unproven offensive
Yeah.
coordinator because all the candidates are QB coaches,
Right.
like passing game
at least with an
coordinators.
offensive-minded head coach, you would still
You
no
have a
matter
chance
who's the
at a
offensive
proven DC,
coordinator-
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so now you could get a defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale. Maybe you want to bring back Patrick Graham. And I think those two third round picks will be for next year. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
If Graham gets a head coaching job,
if he leaves or something like that. I don't know.
no,
the
but
exact-
I think those two third round picks, I'm sorry, would only apply if he gets a head coaching job.
Oh, okay.
I
mean, my uncle's a Minnesota Vikings fan, so maybe I could pull a few strings. I don't know.
Go ahead, man.
What was I? Yeah, so maybe you could bring in, Vic Fangio, Don Wink Martindale. Maybe you could bring them as defensive coordinator, and so that will be really on paper, or really, the best coaching staff we've had since 2011. And it's a lot of potential here, and it's really good. I just want everybody, and with the Brian Flores thing, I hope he gets a good job. He's been taking like a lot of hate. I get the concerns are real, but the hate he's getting is really, it's unreal. But I'm glad we got Brian Daboll. He was my first choice, and then Brian. I was kind of going back and forth, but Brian Daboll was my first choice, and then Brian Flores was.
It was always between the two Brians, no matter what.
Yeah. Especially with Quinn going back to Dallas.
Yeah, and I just think if we get this coaching staff with Brian Daboll, Ken Dorsey, Wink Martindale, I think on both sides of the ball.
I'm telling you, bro, that's the best coaching staff we've had in like a decade.
The potential with these players, now I'm talking like Aziz, McKinney, the potential with these players will be is through the roof. It's through the roof.
Imagine what Daboll could not Daboll. If we get and shout out to the 3 people that just subscribed, Jacob, Darren, and Maverick. If we get Wink, also he did with Odafe Owe over there at the Ravens. Imagine what he could do with an 8-sack rookie turning into a second-year player, Aziz, man. That would just...
Yes, sir.
Listen, man.
Ash, let me get your last thoughts, bro.
Yeah, man. I just want to come on and give some energy. Energetic.
I'm definitely clipping 2 things from your call.
Yeah,
I'll say
you
that.
definitely.
Clip it again because Daddy Daboll is on his
not with the voice crack.
With the voice crack. I know it's the voice crack.
Bro. Too, bro. Oh.
Daddy Daboll is on his way to their path through the NFC. Just some excitement.
If he wins as a Super Bowl, he will be Daddy Daboll. How about that,
bro? Have you?
I ain't never saying that.
Bro?
You know what I'm calling him though?
Have you seen that man, bro? He's Daddy Daboll right now, bro. Right now.
Right now, damn.
Somebody check on Ash's girlfriend real quick, all right?
Bro.
In fact, we follow each other on Instagram. I'm gonna DM her after the show. We'll see what's up.
Cuz, bro.
What?
Bro, don't you got a sister, bro? Like,
what does that got to do with anything, bro? What does that got to do with anything?
Bro, don't be calling shots. You feel me? Don't.
But
Shots.
me and your girl follow each other. I don't think you know my sister's IG, bro. So it is what it is.
Bro, I can't find it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Dude, internet. Find it.
Shout out to Isaiah real quick for the $10 super chat. He says, appreciate you young guys and all the Giants content. Excited times for Big Blue fans. And I appreciate you for checking me out. Definitely appreciate the super chat. For anybody that's new, I'm sure you get the vibe of the show. It's definitely, a lot of young fans. I'm like, I just turned 21. I'm in my final year at college. KB's like 24, 25, right around that age.
24.
Ash is very young. He has his own channel. Everybody that's called in so far is very young. But, it's an open platform for anybody to hop on, man, So I appreciate that. And Ash, before you go, let's get the Big Show theme song one last time, man.
Oh my God.
Introducing to the ring in the Meadowlands.
Ooh.
Out of previously New England and Buffalo, New York. Daddy Daboll.
Oh no.
What is the Big Show? Come on, man. but
I didn't expect him to add in that last part there. Ash, have a good one, bro. And guys, check out his channel, The Get Back with Ashton. He'll be in the chat.
Thank you.
Why he have to say that name one last time, bro?
I knew he was gonna put that in
I
the
had a
damn feed.
feeling.
I had a feeling he was gonna do it. I love Ash, man.
Next up, we got a channel subscriber and viewer that was a call-in legend. He has his own podcast going on right now. It is Joel. Joel, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Let me bring you over to the middle.
Yo, it's been a while, Joe.
Oof.
What's going
Man,
on?
guys, I don't know about that last caller, my guy. I mean, I'm too old to be calling people daddy. I'm sorry, bro. I can't go down that road. Like the hairdo, by the way, Hub, you ought to stick with that. I think that looks better on you than some of the other. Dude, I do, man. Really.
I envy
I
his
do
hair.
too.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. Y'all don't know
Yes,
how hard it
yes.
is to take
When
care
you
of
have
curly hair.
straight hair, when
This,
you have
listen,
straight hair, your hair
this
looks
is my
dull,
hair
man. My hair
before I
looks so
brush it,
dull.
right? Before I brush it. It is
Don't.
a
It's
pain to
vibrant.
brush it, man.
It's
Pick
vibrant,
it. Use
shiny.
a pick. Use a pick. Just
Listen,
fluff
somebody
it up,
said
dude.
somebody said I could possibly get waves. If that's actually true, I'm
Everyone
gonna
with
try and
curly
get
hair is
waves.
lazy. It's confirmed. Everyone
Yes.
with curly hair is lazy.
Yes. Yes.
I would love to be in the bathroom for like doing my hair for a freaking hour, man. My hair just does nothing.
Right.
Bro, all right, we're not here to talk about hair, but real quick, shout out to Zig for a $2 super chat. He said Shane may be a yes man, Daboll may be his balance. Some people, I've seen a couple Giants fan saying Shane may be a yes man. We'll see about that. But Joe, go ahead, just get right into it. I've been telling every caller the same thing when they first come in, man.
Yeah, man, I'm not putting the cart before the horse this year. Went out on a limb last year.
I agree with you.
I am not. Look, I love the enthusiasm. I love the excitement. I love that all the Giants fans are coming together as one. We have unity finally again. We're not clapping at each other with points going back and forth and the anger. Man, it's a wonderful day to be a Giants fan finally.
It is. It is.
But let's remember, Daboll has no head coaching experience.
True.
Okay, he's a rookie head coach. Shane is a rookie GM. Dorsey's going to be a rookie. The only guy that we got coming in possibly is
Wink.
Martindale.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only guy we got coming in. And now let's look at some of the guys he might bring from the Ravens that he might give a raise to and bring them in as maybe a line coach or a linebackers coach, a safeties coach, a court, the backfield. This is all, man, what is there? Probably 15 positions now that we're going to have to, these two guys have got to fill
if we completely clean out the coaching staff. Is it 15? That seems a bit much, doesn't it?
Dude, Judge had what, 27?
Yeah, because Judge had like by far the biggest.
Oh God.
It was 27, but I'm reducing that by 12, man. 15? If you really think about it, because you're going to have depth with this COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's still going on. It's still a concern in the league. We're still not knowing what's going on. There's different variants coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So last year proved it. Look at one time there was 3 quarterbacks that were gone off of one team.
3
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks?
Yeah. It happened to multiple teams actually. It happened to the Broncos.
Yeah.
It happened.
Didn't the Ravens? They were almost involved into it. The
Ravens
Steelers, it happened
well.
too.
Yeah.
And then there was the coaches that couldn't coach, so their OCs had to step up. Dallas had happened too. So, look, this is all stuff that's still going on in the background that these two guys have, maybe 2 weeks at the most to fill their staffs.
How does anybody remember how long it took Judge to fill his staff? Or like in 2020? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Because it was never ending. I mean, there was coaches.
Yeah, but
being
like
hired into
all the
season.
position, like the regular positions, right?
I mean that took the span of, I think it was all the way around to like maybe mid-February, maybe, or
yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, it probably. I think it took a bit more than 2 weeks.
He's got time.
But I'll say this: as soon as they get the OC and the DC down, I think they'd be comfortable in terms of moving forward to the draft. Obviously, they won't stop filling in the rest of the positions, but I feel like once those are down, they'd be comfortable looking towards the draft.
Okay, but who's Dorsey going to bring? Who does he have ties to? Who's his relations with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, I mean, do these guys? Because if you look at what Judge did, he just went through the college ranks and started grabbing guys. He got the guy from Penn State. He got the guy from the Running Rebels. He got, That's where he grabbed a lot of his guys, and those college coaches just didn't understand how to adapt in a NFL game, which is not so much scheme oriented. It's, performance. You got to make split decisions. You got to, go into the second half and make those changes in the gameplay or plan or whatever, and get those guys on the ball. So if you're just running a scheme in college, that's real easy to do. But in the NFL, that's what we saw. We were hyped that we had a young coaching staff, but we need experience. Okay, we're still not getting any experience when we're coming with this. So that's why I'm kind of like taking it down a notch. Don't get me wrong. I love the hiring of the GM. I like that Daboll came here, and I've been following the Buffalo earlier tonight. Once I broke news, I went to the Buffalo Bills sites and the Dolphins sites because I wanted – the Dolphins fans are like highly upset. What a trash organization we are. We can't even get this guy. He was favored. By the way, thank you, Pat Leonard, for getting everybody's chain yanked. Appreciate that one.
I said it too. It too. Pat Leonard has been the guy to be the one to stir everything up. He hates the Giants, so of course he doesn't want us to be happy. He wants us to be in fear and stuff like that. I knew it was a facade. I knew it.
Right. I did too. So let's be happy. We have, because if you really think about it, the Cowboys ain't smack talking us about the GM hire or the coaching hire. The Eagles aren't doing it. Nobody in the NFC's doing it. Nobody in the NFL's doing it. We're bringing in solid people, but remember, there's going to be a learning curve. So if we're just a 500 club next year, maybe a little under 500, is that a winning season? Because we have to rebuild the complete O-line. And we saw what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs when they rebuilt their O-line. They were under 500 for like the first 6 games, and then all of a sudden they took off, everything gelled. But that's without even learning a new offensive scheme. That was just new offensive linemen that had never played before. But once they started gelling,
I just want to read this off because you were saying you went to view what other teams reacted, how their fans reacted.
Right.
Tom Pelissero was saying Dolphins weren't the only guys after Daboll. Saints was after him as well, and then it was retweeted by Ian Rappaport saying that he was a very wanted man.
Yes. And now that the Bills fans really wanted to keep Dorsey and make him the OC, but now he's coming to the Giants, which people in Buffalo are like highly perturbed about that one. Because, and then how do you guys really feel? Okay, look, I know it's Josh Allen. I know he developed Josh Allen. And then people will bring up the point of Daboll. Well, look what he did his previous 10 years. Man, look at the quarterbacks that this guy had. He really didn't have anybody. But you see progress throughout them 10 years up to where he is now. Because they went and got the quarterback that team wanted. Did Daboll have say into that as the OC is? I like Josh Allen's style. I like what he has. I want to coach him up. So did Daboll actually get the guy that he wanted? And that the Bills, they follow everybody in the NFL. They watch the game film. He might be thinking the same thing about Daniel Jones, because if you really compare numbers, Josh Allen's first year and Daniel Jones's first year, who was better?
Yeah, I'll say this because I don't want to stop you right there, but I will say, I said it earlier, we need to stop the comparison of Josh Allen to Daniel Jones because they're also two different styles of players as well. We could compare numbers. Yeah, the numbers were similar, but they're two different players.
But that's all I wanted to do was compare numbers, not play style. Because Josh Allen definitely brings a different play style than what Daniel would rather drop back, manipulate the pocket, throw the ball. Josh Allen will take it and run out to the right and run out to the left. And, he's a more running style quarterback.
If the pocket breaks down, but we've seen recently, especially in the past 2 years, that man has improved so much as a pocket passer. It's ridiculous.
Yes, he has. His deep ball accuracy has definitely improved. I mean, you still see it. Sometimes he'll miss on that big play, but it's not as much or as often. And that was the big thing with Lamar. He's got to work on that deep ball accuracy too. It's getting better, but still room to improve. So we're going to have to take this season with a grain of salt. Now, look, what if they trade the 5th pick and the 7th pick back? Because this guy here's the thing. He said, I'm building through the draft. Okay, what does that mean when somebody says, I'm building this team through the draft? I need draft capital. That means trading picks. And if I
don't disagree with you. It's just that football fans seem to forget there's more than just first round picks you can trade. You could trade I would say the first 2 to 3 rounds, you always get good draft capital
But
back
remember
when
that
you
we
trade them.
still have
Also-
a decent amount of picks in this draft.
Also, I'd say we have like 9, but
the
also there's
necessity
players you
to
could trade as well.
Yeah, the necessity to gain more draft capital in this draft is not that. Maybe next draft you try to gain more capital for next draft, but in this draft, 9 picks, I would be okay with 9 picks. You don't need more than 9 picks.
And like I said, players. I was talking to a Bills fan last week. I kind of told the story before. My friend is a Bills fan because he went to college in Buffalo around the same time that the whole Josh Allen got drafted. So he became a Bills fan at the very correct time. And so through him, I know a good amount of Bills fans. And they were saying, just based off of the way Brandon Beane operated when he first got there, there's definitely going to be a couple trades with players to get more picks. I was thinking to myself, if we are getting more picks, it would be through trading players, not necessarily the picks that we already have.
Well, if the offer's right, okay, this is a guy that's going to listen to it. Okay, and then let's say we do trade the 5th down to the 9th. All right, you think Linderbaum's
That's
still
what
going to be there?
what was that with Broncos are at 9, right? I think.
Right. Well, they're looking for a quarterback. Okay, they got to get somebody in there. They don't have anything right now. They're going to reach.
Listen, all I want is a great trade package if that happens.
But if you get a 1st next year, a 2nd this year, and a 3rd next year, okay, is that something you're going to look at? You get another 2nd this year, a 1st and a 3rd the following year.
How many total picks is that?
Yeah, but
that's 3.
I want more than 3 picks.
You know, but
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but listen, if the Giants are like the Giants last year put themselves in a position to get 2 first-round picks the following year, I mean, at that point, I mean, why are you gonna? What was the point of trading to get 2 first-round picks this year if you're gonna trade back down in this draft? One of your first-round picks that you just acquired. You got 2 picks in the top 10. I mean, you don't get that all the time.
But you guys, you got to remember what Shane said.
I know what he said.
And
He
also,
said
I could counter that with another point as well. If we look at the way Buffalo has operated over the past 4 years, essentially when Shane's been there, whatever their greatest position in need is, they attack it aggressively. For the past 2 to 3 years, their greatest position in need has been pass rusher. That's what they've attacked aggressively in the draft with their first round picks and second round picks.
You're right, but they've been later picks.
Not because Buffalo is drafting later. That's not because they're trading back.
Well, no, but when you got a high picks like that, you can get equity out of that for building your future, because you know that Shane and Dorsey and Daboll have this year as a excuse year. This is a year to, because look, let's say we're picking 15th next year, but Daniel Jones isn't the guy. But because you guys were like kind of hesitant on trading away 5 and 7, we've got nothing next. Now we got to give away future picks. Whereas if we trade 5 and 7 and get 2 more firsts next year out of those picks, so now we got 3 first-round picks, we can go up and get Bryce Young if he's number 1. We can go up, we'll have it, and we don't have to give up the future picks next year to do it, because then we'll have a rookie quarterback. You know, and then we still got the following year's first pick, so we can get that kid a weapon. If we need a wide receiver or whatever it is for Stroud or Young or whoever it is, because we only had to give up 3 first-round picks, but we kept our 2nd, our 3rd, our 4th, because let's not forget, if Evan Ingram gets a big contract, we get a 3rd-round pick for him, or 4th or 5th, whatever. Well, Will Hernandez, if he gets a big contract, we're going to get another big, a supplemental draft pick out of him. All right, there's still other guys out there.
I agree with what you're saying. I just don't know if it's the smartest thing to do, because there's more than one way to build an NFL team. Look at the Rams, for example. They trade away future picks. That's an option. I feel like you're just not entertaining that. We could go into next year and trade future picks.
I'm not going to go up and get the big guy. I'm not going to go up and get the top money free agent.
What does that have to do with trading for future picks? I'm saying we trade future picks to get, like, if we're in a position next year where we didn't trade this year, and let's say the situation you were saying, which we're like in the middle rounds, but we want to get up to take a quarterback. And the Rams aren't the only team that done it, that trade future picks to get up to a good pick to take their quarterback. The Chiefs have done it. The Eagles have done it. A lot of teams they're like, all right, we don't have the capital right now. Let's take it from the future. Especially if they believe that is the quarterback. I'm just saying that's an option that you haven't entertained at all right now.
But you're still looking at teams that are drafting in the 20s.
What are you talking about?
You're still looking at the Chiefs. Where have they been picking the last 4 years?
My whole point is, you're saying trade this year's picks. I'm saying another option is going to next year and trade future picks. That's what I'm saying. That's an option.
Why do you want to give up like 3 first-round picks for the future when we
If
could
it's a
do it in one
franchise
move.
quarter, if they believe it's a franchise quarterback, that's not a question about why do you want to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it is because I can go up and get everything I want and still keep all my draft capital. I'm building for the future, doing what I'm doing right now by trading
No,
away 5
I
and
disagree.
7.
I feel like you're treating these as two mutually, or two the only options. I'm saying both are options. And to the question you just asked,
Wait a
why
minute.
would you, why wouldn't you do it? I'm like, if it's a franchise quarterback, teams have
So
given up a lot
you
for a
would rather
franchise
give up
quarterback.
a 2023 first, a 2024 first, a 2025 first, is what you're saying.
If I'm in the 2023 draft and I'm looking for a quarterback,
Yeah,
I'm not saying I would rather do that. I don't know why that thought is in your head. I'm saying it's an option.
I never said it wasn't an option, but if I was doing it and I'm the GM, I'm going to build up the draft capital for
What
next year.
I think what Joel's trying to say is instead of giving away that future capital, you have the 5th and 7th right now. He wants to trade back in those to get more capital for next year that you can just use it. You can just use it to trade up for a
Yeah, no,
quarterback
I hear
next
that.
year.
I'm just saying there
Yeah.
is other options out
Yes,
there.
there is. But
There is, but you
it's
know,
yeah, it is an option. It is an option. Yeah.
it is an option to give up future first round picks to go out, and take a guy at 5 and 7 right now. But you got to see how the board plays out in the draft, because if you can still get, let's say we go from 5 to 9, but Iguanu is still on the board at 9. Just like Ojulari was last year. The fans wanted Ojulari in the first round. All right. He fell to us in the second round, and even we traded back again and still got him. So if Iguanu's there at 9,
you're completely right there. You got to look at how the board plays.
right.
And now with this is a completely different conversation from what you were saying. What you were arguing earlier is trade back for the sake of future picks. Now this is just playing the board and playing contracts.
Well,
Because if the
but
guy
you're
is dropping,
still-
then you should always look for a trade back opportunity if the guy is dropping that you want.
Right, but you're still looking at the future picks because I got a future 2 firsts from the 5 and the 7 plus more.
No,
So
okay then. I feel like you're completely missing the point that I just made. The different point that I just made.
I guess
that's
I
fine.
am,
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
I'm just not. I get what you're saying. That
Mhm.
look, you
I
don't
feel
have
like you
to.
both agree, but you guys don't understand how you guys both agree. I think you guys
I-
are talking the same thing. You guys are
Right. And Kashif B said the Bills traded down to 2017, built up capital, and then moved up for both Allen and Edmonds the next year. That's what I'm trying. That's all I'm trying to say. Is these guys have scouted these guys. They're going to know what Stroud is, what Young is. I mean, thank God Gettleman, who never trades down, traded down because everyone said he never trades down, and gave us the capital that only because of his ego. His
I
ego.
feel like he did it out of spite. He definitely
He
did
did
it out
too.
of spite.
He did, but because of him spiting everybody, he said, "Okay, I'm trading down."
It was a good trade
thank
down.
God.
It was a
Thank
good trade.
God.
And both trade downs were good trade downs.
He freaking
Right.
He
Yeah.
fleeced the Bears, man.
Right.
Even the
And
Dolphins one was a good
Even-
trade down.
and the Dolphins,
Yeah.
and the Dolphins fleeced them.
Yeah. So I guess we are coming at the same point, but we're just a couple of different terms. We're not understanding each other. But I'm not against taking the 5 and the 7 best player or offensive lineman. Look, if we got the number 5 pick and Aiden Hutchinson's on that board and they trade that freaking pick away, I'm going to go livid.
Yeah.
All right, that's the
For any
one.
honestly, any of the top 3 pass, I would take at 5. I would take either Aiden, Thibodeau, or Karlaftis at 5. I really would.
Well,
or
I
would definitely prioritize offensive line first at 5. But if any of those guys are there at 5 or 7, I'm grabbing them. Even Karlaftis.
Well, the thing with Thibodeau is he's the number 1 pass rusher. You put him in at third down, he's definitely going to be that disruptor on third down. But right now, he's not a 3-down set edge.
Right, he's raw. He's still raw. He's
Yes,
still
very raw.
Very
But where
raw.
Karlaftis, you watch him. There's a couple of games. I forget which one it was.
My favorite
when
is
they
Iowa.
were trying,
He destroyed Iowa.
when they were running the RPO on him, boy, he knew exactly how to attack that RPO. And who runs the RPO? Dallas, the Eagles. Who's Washington going to get as a quarterback?
The thing is,
that-
I think that Karlaftis could be there at 7. So if we're in a situation where
Right.
we try to tackle at 5, the two edges I'm looking at 7 is Karlaftis and Ojabo. Both of them would be great at 7, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Ojabo is fun to watch, but I want a big a big edge rusher. You know what I'm
Hey,
talking about? Because we already got Aziz, we got Lorenzo Carter if he sticks around. We got these speed rushers, right? But we got
Oh,
guys with
Jabo has
speed.
strength to him too. I mean, don't
I
let
know,
him,
but
don't let his
Jabo is
size
straight
fool
speed.
you.
I trust me. Don't get me wrong. I love
Hey.
Ojabo, but Karlaftis could blow up
I
a lot.
I heard it rumored that we might be taking Nakobe Dean at number 7. I mean, the
I wouldn't
Bills
mind
guy
that.
likes
I would
Right.
not mind
I
that.
don't want. I don't know
Bro,
if I
he's
want
the
an off-ball
best inside,
linebacker.
but he's like the
trust
best
me,
inside
trust me.
linebacker in this class.
Trust me,
Right.
I love Nakobe Dean. I watched him, but I don't know if I want an off-ball linebacker right
and
now.
and
It's
if we're
that
gonna
high right now.
get rid of Badbury, if that kid from LSU is still on the board, he might be in play too.
Oh,
That's
Jets
where
are
I'm like,
Jets are taking this dude. Yeah.
yeah.
Stingley.
If
Stingley.
I'm
Jets
just
are taking
saying,
this dude.
if
Yeah, I like
he's
Stingley a lot.
if he's there. Well, look, let's see what the combine is because Stingley might fall into one of these other. A lot of people are starting to move up this draft board.
Another
Yeah.
guy
completely
like
changed
the
it.
Real
dude
quick,
from
I'm gonna say
Cincinnati is
whatever
nice,
you're
too.
about to say, KB. Say it, then I'm gonna ask for Joel's last thought because I got 4 other calls I want to get to.
Okay.
Here.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
I was just saying the dude from Cincinnati, the cornerback from Cincinnati, is good too. Besides,
Yes.
Stingley. Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, Joel, let me get your last thoughts, man. On
Man, what
the
a great
coaching hair.
discussion. I appreciate you
Yeah.
having me on, my guy. We got to get together again.
What do you think about the potential of Dorsey? I mean, that's basically a continuously updating situation right now.
Well, guys, remember he was the quarterback at the University of Miami.
Wasn't
All
he
right.
like really, really good or something?
Yeah, he was, but he just didn't have the arm strength to make it in the NFL. I mean, he was an RPO guy at the U. So he definitely knows what the position's all about. All right. He's got his mentor Daboll in front of him as the head coach. And I think Dorsey might be here for 3 years before he even gets an opportunity. He's still a young guy. But let's see what his game plan is. Here's what I'm going to wait for. I want to wait for free agency because I looked at the interior guys, and instead of taking a right tackle in free agency, we could get a center and a guard for about $18 million combined. If we front load that, and that way their cap hit is down to like, $4 million each. All right. And then if we draft that Kami Kwanu, we got our right side guy. And then look, Linderbaum, Pert, we all went into last year with Pert thinking he could be the guy, and he couldn't even beat out Nate Solder.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think you got to get a right tackle with that 5th pick.
Yeah, well, that's why I said I like Iquanu. I really do. He could be anywhere. Even if he's the left guard next to him and Thomas. Barkley, run to the left. Thomas and Iquanu, they're going to blow everything up. If we don't get Linderbaum, free agency is going to be the biggest thing, and that's what we have to wait for right now. But seeing what they're going to do is staff-wise, that's probably my final take. See what the staff does. Go Giants, damn it.
Hey, guys, check out the Joel's channel. It's right there with his name, Classified 3F with Joel. And have a good one, man. Thank you for calling in.
You too.
Next up, we got
before you put him in, I'm probably gonna have to leave now.
That's
got some
fine, yeah.
things to take care of. But bro, thank you for having me on. Next caller, hope see. I guess we'll bring on the next caller so I can say hi real quick before I go. But
Okay, sure. It's BPS. Then after BPS, we got Miz, then Giants World, then Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx. We got an Eagles fan on here right now, guys.
Oh my god! My god! I haven't talked to my man in a while. I sung your Eagles fight song, bro. Did
I
you see
seen that. That was I seen that.
I shouted you out too, bro.
I wish I was in that live stream. Honestly, I wish I was.
Yeah, it was kind of spontaneous. I had to do it because my friend was an Eagles fan. He wanted me to do it like every time I had a chance to, so I just had to do it.
Dude, I was dying. That was hilarious. Yeah.
But I gotta go now. But I want to quickly say hi to you, man. But Coach, thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah.
Go Giants and screw this Eagles fan.
Yeah. Have a good
later,
one,
guys.
KB. But Big
Peace
Play
out, bro.
Slay, let me get your thoughts as an outsider, as an enemy.
Yeah.
Let me get your thoughts on the Daboll hire, and let me get your serious thoughts before you start joking about it.
I mean, personally, okay, there's so many ways you can look at this. You have a first-year head coach. He's a first-year guy, right?
Mhm.
And then you can look at it from the standpoint that, he's bringing a new philosophy in instead of that old regime that you guys have. He's bringing something new in. That's what Brian Daboll is giving you. You already have Daniel Jones there. Now, a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of Giants fans so split on Daniel Jones. Personally, I don't think he's your guy. I think he's kind of like what Alex Smith was at the late end of the Chiefs, like his Chiefs stays or whatnot, where they had that one season with him. They got to the playoffs, got knocked out in the first round by the Tennessee Titans, and then Mahomes was the new quarterback there for them. That was their franchise guy. That's what you're probably going to do next year, I think. But I think he's an okay quarterback. I don't think he's terrible. He's not as terrible as most of these, other quarterbacks in the league. But I think Brian Daboll, he can definitely bring a new philosophy in. You don't need that old regime with the Giants. You need something new. You need something fresh. And I think that's something Brian Daboll, brings to the culture of the Giants. And you also had Ken Dorsey, right?
So the thing with Ken Dorsey, it's like I was saying, it's a continuously updating situation. Like literally minutes after Daboll was hired and it was officially tweeted out, a couple people start tweeting out that the Giants are in talks with Ken Dorsey. That when Brian Daboll was hired, Daboll said he's a package deal with Dorsey, so he's trying to bring him, like he's basically trying to bring Dorsey along, and Dorsey wants to come along. However, of course, there's going to be obstacles because the Bills wants to promote Dorsey as well. And then also we have to, per the Rooney Rule, we do have to interview a minority coach before we could even think about hiring Ken Dorsey. So there is a couple things to go through before that happens.
Personally, man, I want you guys to keep, and I'm not saying I like from an Eagles fan, I don't want you to keep this guy, but I think the most logical thing to do is keep Patrick Graham. I think he's a good defensive coordinator. His stunts, the way he brings a lot of different looks at the quarterback is something that confuses most quarterbacks. And I'm not saying he can, literally stop Josh Allen and Mahomes, the best quarterbacks in the game. I think he can do some things that can prevent them from getting outside the pocket and doing what they like to do best. That's some things he definitely brings with them. He stopped my guy Jalen Hurts, of course, 3 interceptions. He knows how to scheme up against him. And he definitely brought the blueprint that kind of escaped to the NFL to stop him. But yeah, I think Brian Daboll is really good. I think he can be good in this league, and it sort of scares me. I got to see what you do first in free agency and the draft before I can say that team is legitimate.
I mean, I agree with that as well. I've as excited as we all have been, at the end of the day, I got to see, forget free agency and the draft, what we do, come this September on the field. That's what we got to wait to see for.
Yeah, now that's how I felt going into last season. Like, dude, I was pumped up last year, 2020. I thought Wentz was going to be the man, as all Eagles fans was probably thinking the same thing. Then we got the 4-12 thing. So that's the same thing I looked at when we hired Nick Sirianni. Of course, he proved me wrong.
So are you saying there's a parallel to that and then the Giants 4-12 season and us hiring Daboll is what you're trying to say?
Kind of like that. It's probably a little more different because we still won a little more games than you guys before all this stuff happened. But I think you just need like a guy that can fix the philosophy of the team. That's something you guys are missing. You need a foundation before I can say that team is going to be a legitimate super house for the next 15, 20 years. I don't think you guys are there yet, but you guys still put a slight scare into me because you got Brian Daboll.
Yeah. I mean, anything else, man?
Nah, that's what I wanted
No
to
jokes to crack?
Oh yeah. Hey, y'all still suck, Y'all ain't anything yet. Y'all still the worst team in this division. Y'all in Washington. I mean, that's very true. Hopefully you guys suck for another 10 years. We can all wish on that. But hey, hopefully this division, in all seriousness, is good again, because we don't want it to be at the NFC least for the next 10 years. But appreciate you for having me on, Kush. I promise I will come back on here one more time. So yeah. Peace out to the chat. Hopefully I can get on more of these when I have time, but appreciate you for having me on. Peace, man.
Peace. And guys, it is winding down, so I'm gonna try and get everybody on, the last remaining people in here. Miz, man. I know this guy, Miz, has been waiting for Daboll for about a week, maybe even 2 weeks. He was very excited. I'm just gonna let him speak.
Yo, Hub, what's going on, my brother? You don't know how excited I am tonight. Everybody knows me who knows. I've been calling this guy's name out from the day we said bye to Judge, man. I wanted this Buffalo regime. I don't want half of it. I don't want to split it. I wanted it together. And this is what we got tonight. I kind of knew 5-6 days ago this guy was hired, but the last 2 days with that moron throwing out tweaks and all kinds of stuff got me a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. And
got a
I'm
lot
not
of
going to
people
say
nervous, yeah.
Flores wouldn't be a good hire, but this is the guy I feel matched the Giants organization and what we needed. And I can't tell you how excited I am, man. I think this is the best hire we've made since we've had Coughlin here.
And with the way the coaching staff is sounding like it could play out, it could be the best coaching staff since Coughlin's as well. Like, I'd say it's in 10 years probably.
Or if we get some of these guys that they're talking about, man, I mean, look, I don't listen. I don't have the concrete facts, but I mentioned it a week and a half or two ago. I don't care. I'm not tweeting my horn. I don't care about none of that. I'm just happy that the Giants, I feel, are headed in a good direction. Finally. But I do believe that Bill Parcells is pulling strings in the background. I think Mara was so upset and so lost that he reached out to him. And a lot of the alumni players the last few weeks of the season were really disgusted and started talking up. And I think a lot of that played into trying to fix this thing. I think there are people we don't know about, but I think Parcells played a role, man. I really do, man. These guys are connected to Parcells. You know what I mean? Dude, you can't have a better guy help your organization there. The guy cares. And a lot of people were saying things that started bothering me, like that Mara doesn't care. He should sell the team. I heard all this stupid nonsense garbage from people. I mean, for you to sit there and tell me Mara doesn't care, man, this guy's been here forever. You think it didn't bother him? The free soda jokes and all this crap, I guarantee that wasn't even his idea, man. You know?
Whatever they do for Friend Appreciation Day this coming season, I'll say, just because you mentioned it, it better be something way better than a free medium soda.
Throw a hot dog in there.
Man, give them a meal. Give them a meal, man.
What I want to say is, dude, I've always been a believer in Jones. There's times where I've been down on it, but you never heard me ever once not mention the offensive line. The New York Giants have not. Mara said it. They've done nothing but let this guy get abused.
They've done everything in their power to basically make him fail.
They destroyed him, regardless if you think he was a 6th pick or not. Everyone out there, regardless if you think he deserved a 6th pick or he doesn't deserve it. The man has an arm. The man has tools. He's tall. He's physical. He could run. You don't want him really running. That's not what he should be. Go get this guy in O-line. We talked about this last year, and that regime ignored it. They ignored the whole draft, and we know it. And you know I was irate about it. But you know what I like about this GM? He's going to go get the Giants in O-line. You could just tell.
Like I said, the Bills, they attack aggressively the biggest needs of their team. We've seen it in the past 2 years. So I definitely believe, especially through the draft, they're going to try and fix this O-line. And I said, I made a Daniel Jones video. I think it was Monday. I just posted in chat for anybody that didn't check it out. That entire video was just, it wasn't a take video. It was just kind of recounting Daniel Jones's past 3 years here and the fact that he's had the worst hand dealt in football for any young quarterback. And I said the Giants need to make a decision on him, and they need to make it quick. And I think they made a decision, and that is, let's see what he does in his 4th year with, finally, for the first time, not the worst hand in football.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't buy that August date. I really don't. I think Jones is fine. I think you'll be seeing him work. You may not see him. They might hide it. I think he's working out. I seen him throwing footballs 2 weeks after that injury, 40-yard passes, all right? I mean, I think I think a lot of the stuff that's being let out there is not the truth. We don't know exactly what the truth is.
This is what I'll say, though, Miz. Whatever the doctor tells him to rest, I still want him to rest like an extra couple weeks or something. You know what I'm saying? Because we've talked about this before. You were the first person to ever bring up the turf issue, and we hope that they replace the turf this year with natural grass. In addition to that, we all know the medical staff is definitely questionable. We've seen the reports come out these past couple of weeks and this past month about how the medical staff operates. If Shane has any control over that, hopefully he could, change some things. But that, just bringing that up as well.
Hub, I understand trading. Maybe if we could trade the 7th back a couple of spots and get some extra picks, of course, why not? We're building towards the future. We're looking at a 2-year build, maybe 3. But you got to have partners to trade back with. It's not just going to happen because you want it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're sitting there 5 and this kid from Carolina, Kwanu is there if he's there, because there's a good chance he won't be there. Like my friend Buko's saying, he's very good with this. He might not be there, man. The Jets might want him. Someone before us, you got Neal and him. If one of them falls to 5,
You gotta take
and
him.
you gotta run up to that podium and grab one of them. I'm hoping it's the Carolina kid. And then at 7, man.
And real quick, I've started to look in, because I've started my scouting for my mock draft videos. I'm also right now, before I had Neal as my number 1, but I think Akeem is the best tackle in this class right now.
Right. Was saying that. And but he might be the best tackle, but that doesn't mean that Neal wouldn't be drafted first by the Jaguars. You know what I mean?
And that doesn't mean Neal is not going to be a great tackle. Neal has a ton of potential.
Right. And then you go to 7, man, and everyone knows I'm crazy about the Iowa center Lindenbaum. Everyone knows, and a lot of people are, man. This guy is a rare. I mean, I heard people talking about him. He's one of the best players in the draft completely. So this guy is special, and you're trying to put together. Listen, man, I'm tired of taking 3rd round, going for all O-linemen in the mid rounds, and we're gonna groom them. No. We got to get top level staple pieces, and I feel like in the first 3 picks, 2 of our picks have to be linemen. Now, if you wanted to go with that linebacker, I like Devin Lloyd at 7. Pat's big on him too. I like him a lot. I've been looking at him. Or a defensive end like the kid from Michigan, if he's there at 7 and you don't have a trade down, okay, go ahead. But then in the 2nd and 3rd round, you better find yourself another good O-lineman, a guard, and if you can still get another guard in free agency, if we can.
What I always say, there's always really good and great guards in the 2nd round. Now, I don't think you're going to get somebody on the same level as Linderbaum, but I agree with you. If you take a defensive end or a rusher or inside linebacker, you should use that 2nd round pick, to get a guard, because you're gonna get a really good guard in the 2nd round.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if you put together an O-line here, and people are gonna think I'm crazy, man, but if you put together an O-line and you see, I'm not gonna say playoffs, man, but I'm telling you, if you put together a line, suddenly your players are healthy under a new regime. Hopefully, I think sometimes it works that way. It sounds stupid, but when you're winning, suddenly players aren't so injured anymore. And you have an O-line, and Jones is playing good football from the pocket, and Barkley, Tony, and Galladay, Slayton. You don't really need to go you could get a weapon in the mid-round, but you could get weapons next year's draft. Right now, put together the O-line. The Giants can win. It's not far-fetched to win 8 or 9 games with the joke of a schedule I just saw for next year, man. Don't be shocked. It happens in the league to 2 or 3 teams every year. And add into this, Tom Brady might be retiring. Rodgers might be leaving Green Bay, and the Saints are finished. You know what I'm saying, man? Do the math.
That opens up. Yeah, Ash was bringing up earlier.
The Giants will be in the playoffs the year after next, guaranteed.
That opens up those 3 teams you brought up. If those things happen, it opens up the NFC for anybody, honestly. It just opens it up wide open.
I'm really happy. I love this. I think this GM is really good because he's a hell of a scout. I see what he's done in Buffalo. He's a big part of it, and the Bills are for real. Okay, I don't care if they lost last week. The Bills are for real. And you bring in his guy instead of bringing some other guy, I know Flores is a good coach, but I think I
brought it up in my like intro beginning of this. The chemistry and the communication between Daboll and Shane is just gonna be a great deciding factor between something with, like, if you're gonna have none of that with Flores.
No, because what I was worried about is with Flores is I already seen it coming. Joe Shane is a classy, seems like a laid back, calm guy. And Flores is going to try to impose the things he wants on him. He's very aggressive, like another judge, basically, and we didn't need to. Well, listen, I think everything worked out. I hope we could get Wink. I hope we could. About the Dorsey, by the way, this is my belief. Call me nuts. Sometimes guys are already hired. There's an understanding, and we'll announce it to the country. Or the media
I agree with you there. I agree with you there, because I was saying if there's mutual interest, he has no problem waiting until it's time. Yeah,
we got to cover the Rooney Rule. So listen, we're gonna give this this guy an interview and that guy, and then Wednesday we're gonna announce that we hired you. So you lay low for a couple of days, but don't go anywhere. That's all, man. That's all. That's what goes on in the world, man. These are professionals. You're gonna get who you want. But that's it, Hub. I'm just happy, and I just wanted to say one more time because I got a lot of people on the fence on this. I don't know what they're gonna do, but whatever regime's gonna do, we're gonna back them up because it's a new regime.
Mm-hmm.
But I still believe that if you put an O-line in front of Jones, Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback. Stop thinking he's Josh Allen. It's two different people.
Thank you for saying that.
Right
yeah,
now.
I feel like I've been the only person saying that tonight.
But Jones could be his own good quarterback. We've
Yeah.
seen flashes of it earlier this season. So that's it, Hope, man. It's good. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, Miz, thank you for calling in, bro. Guys, check out Miz's channel. It's his same name right there. And have a good one, bro.
You too, bro.
Next up, like I said, I'm going to try and get all two of these guys on. I see Giants World and Big Blue in the Bronx back here. Giants World, what's up, man? He has an Instagram page, by the way, guys. Definitely go check it out. Some of you might actually be following it already by the same name. Let me just go ahead, man. Say your thoughts.
Yeah, first I'm going to go back to what Ash said. I think I'm going to roll with Daddy Daboll nickname.
And that was Giants World's time on the stream, guys. I appreciate him calling in. This is getting a bit ridiculous.
No, I think he'll deserve the daddy. The GOAT nickname if he wins us a Super Bowl or something. But right now, I think everyone's really happy with this move, and I think it was needed. Instead of going with Brian Flores, who's pretty much another judge. But Daboll brings the new offensive philosophies, and you've been saying that Jones is not a Josh Allen, but when Josh Allen came out, he was extremely raw, and he wasn't anything special. People are saying he was a bust.
The difference was, though, the potential people saw is exactly what he developed into. I don't know if the potential anybody saw in Daniel Jones was ever, because Allen, like, he always had the arm, for example, right? There's no comparison between the arms of Jones and Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to have that type of leap, but it's possible we see some type of growth. And if, let's say we build a good team around Jones and the defense is still playing the way it has been or even better, then it's possible we could win with DJ. We've done it. It's not like Eli was Tom Brady or anything, but, he had talent and everything, but the team around it was great. And if we do the same thing with DJ, it's possible we could win with him.
Mm-hmm. Especially you get that O-line, hopefully a bit. This is gonna sound crazy, but I honestly think if you stay where you are at 5-7 and you get the two best O-line available, I think that line is fixed in 1 year. I've said it for a long time. You don't need to get all 5 positions. Get the 2 tackles in the center, and you're gonna have a good O-line. Like I said, it may sound crazy to some people, but you get like 2 of the best offensive linemen in the draft, and you're all of a sudden going from one of the worst offensive lines in the league, I think, immediately to like a top 15 offensive line in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we might see is Shane signing someone in free agency, because that's what Buffalo's been doing recently too, and I think they've been really good at it too. And they've had success. And Shane said in his press conference that they won't sign these big name guys. Instead, they'll go with someone that's not really that known, but they'll make it work. And I think if you hire the right offensive line coach, it might work out.
Mm-hmm. And that's another good thing to bring up as well. I don't know if I could quickly find it. There was a couple offensive line coach candidates that was thrown out there. I know this is way probably like a week from now.
Is like the top one out there.
Maybe this is probably like a week from now. After we get the coordinators and whatnot. I'm trying to find it, but there was a couple good candidates. I don't know anybody else. If the chat could provide some names, that would be good. Or you said Callahan. I'll have to see. I'm scrolling through Twitter right now to find it. But go ahead with your next thought.
I mean, with like Ken Dorsey, I think it might be a package deal, but you never know, because in Buffalo, ultimately he wants to become a head coach somewhere else, and I think he might see the best opportunity with Buffalo with Josh Allen, because he's already proven and everything. But people are going to look at a point and say that Josh Allen's already been developed. He didn't really do anything. But let's say if he comes here and he develops DJ, and DJ has a average or better season, then people might look and say, oh wow, he really made something out of Daniel Jones when he was really he wasn't that good. So maybe he looks at it that way. Maybe he really believes in what Shane and Daboll are building.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, I want to go back to a point you made like right before that, the free agency thing. It literally just clicked on my head. You could supplement, those 2 guard positions in free agency, because I feel like we all think Hernandez might be gone. Shane Lemieux is going to be back because he's on the rookie deal, but Are we really gonna let him be the starter?
Yeah,
You can definitely
yeah.
sign a guard in free agency, man. Like you could sign
Yeah, I'm
a
done with these developmental guys. It's not working out.
You could
Nick
sign a
Gates,
guard.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
go
Nick
ahead.
Gates worked out, but like not every guy's gonna
Yeah,
have
Nick
that type
Gates
of
is like one
career.
every 1,000 or something like that. He was an undrafted free agent that worked out. That's crazy, which is a crazy story in of itself. And then there's the fact that we're not even sure when he's coming back from injury.
Yeah, hopefully next season. But I mean, his injury was extremely gruesome. Never know.
Mm-hmm. Let me get your last thought, Giants World. I don't mean to seem. Mike Munchak is one that Big Blue and the Bronx is bringing up in there, and then somebody else, Chris Atwater, also says he's the best O-line coach available. Mike Munchak. Let me actually look up
I think
that
I've
name.
heard his name before.
I might be
Definitely been
butchering
out
his
there.
last name. I might be completely butchering his last name. Oh yeah, he's
Maybe
with
it's
the
Maida.
Steelers. Oh, for sure. Why would no? He's with the Broncos, offensive line coach. But he with the Steelers at some point. Yeah, he was
I
with
think
the
he
Steelers
was with the Steelers. Yeah.
from 2014 to 2018, and then from 19 to present with the Broncos. If he's available for any reason, yeah, I'd try and get him because the Steelers from 2014 to 2018 had possibly the best O-line in football. Why in the world is he available? I'd definitely try and send a flyer out there. But Josh, well, let me get your last thought. Like I was saying earlier, I don't mean it to seem like I'm rushing. It's just that it's getting to the 2-hour mark, and I need to get this stream done and over.
Yeah, no,
with.
I get it. I just want to say thank you for having me on, and go Giants.
Hey, go Giants, man. And with that, thank you for calling in. Let me get Alex on. Alex, what's up? And I know DJ BTE was in here earlier, but I don't see him now. If you're in the chat, try and click the link again to come in. You kind of disappeared. You were like in there and then like just disappeared. But go ahead, Alex.
Very happy, very happy. As you saw my Twitter, I was ready to jump through a table, and I think that maybe Shane didn't do it in his first presser, but maybe Daboll does. But with that being said, I'm really, really happy with this hire, and just overall, if if you wanted Brian Flores or if you wanted somebody else, you can't be mad at this hire either way. There's no way you can be disappointed with this hire, say Matt or something like that. He has an accomplished resume. Obviously, as I said it in the chat, I know shout outs to Clapback Sports. He mentioned a candidate. I forget his name, but then I brought up Mike Munchak, and people started, liking the tweet and everything. Listen, right now I guess he's still technically employed by the Broncos, but since they fired Fangio, he can look for other opportunities. So you know what? After you get Dorsey, after you make that possible, bang the table for him, give him the money he wants. We need a real O-line coach in here. And I'm just really excited because we could really have a lot of veteran established coaches on this team. With the Rooney Rule, I think Miz was talking about it earlier. Someone else was. In terms of that, if you keep Patrick Graham, you don't have to go through that interview process with the Rooney Rule. But also, Vic Fangio's on the table. Don Martindale's on the table. I'm really excited to see which candidates come through. And once again, they will, do the Rooney Rule, whatever, even if they don't keep Graham. But I know that Brian Daboll, at least from reports, is apparently, he's apparently, I would say, in favor of keeping some of the defensive coaches.
Mm-hmm.
One coach, in my opinion, that is a must bring back is Jerome Henderson.
The defensive back coach, right?
Yes, because I made a video the other day profiling Patrick Graham, and I had to say this. Obviously, he did some stuff in 2020 when Kyler Fackrell was on IR and when Marcus Golden was traded, and basically he was trying to get sacks out of a unit that was Carter Coughlin and Cam Brown and all those other guys. But the position I liked most on the Giants offensively and defensively, just overall, in 2021 was the corners. James Bradbury, yeah, he was a little inconsistent. Aaron Robinson, I mean, despite his struggle in the Bears game, which obviously, you can't blame totally on him because Mike Glennon was turning over the ball 4 times in that game. Real physical corner. If you trade or release Bradbury, he switches to the outside. He's very versatile, good against the run. Dory Jackson, I know a lot of
Dory
people
Jackson was probably in my opinion, our best corner this year.
Yeah, cornerback cornerback 1. I know people want to release him in the future. I personally would keep him depending on the cap situation in the next couple of years, but I believe he is cornerback 1. So I really wouldn't want to go after Derek Stingley in the draft. Different with Nakobe Dean, but also people do have to remember we have 9 picks, but 5 of them are in the top,
100.
100, I think, something like that. We have 5 draft picks in the first 3 rounds. Obviously, O-line is a definite thing. But with Jerome Henderson, besides Aaron Robinson, besides Dory Jackson, I look at Jaron Williams wasn't bad, undrafted free agent out of Albany from about a year and a half ago. Steven Parker was okay as a role player. J.R. Reed, Xavier McKinney. So that's one coach he really has to try and keep. But I'm just excited with the progress. And screw Pat Leonard for trying to do the smoke screen of Brian Daboll's.
Pat Leonard's been blocking a lot of Giants fans just tonight alone on Twitter for calling him out on a couple of things. Not just that, but over the past couple of years. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, salute to you fellas. Drop by to pay our proper respects, and for all Giants fans around the world, slam all the stinky Boyd's losers on the ground, talking about the Eagles fans. And I mean, I don't really have much to add to what you're saying. I do agree, Jerome Henderson, especially when you look at what he did with McKinney, is somebody I'd love to keep. I would have loved to keep if he didn't already move on. Sean Spence, I think that he's a great defensive line coach. Yeah. We did, after all, see Leonard Williams' best year under him, and in general, I feel like our defensive line has always been consistently good. Even before he was here, our defensive line was good, right? But like he's just a great D-line coach. Our linebackers coaches, outside, inside. Sure, I feel like we could replace them. You know what I'm saying? I hope that we do find.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that we definitely could find. Not definitely. I think that we should find a good replacement for Spence. And is there any position I'm missing on the defensive side? It's just the two linebacker coaches and D line, and then I think
pretty much hit all of them.
Yeah, so yeah,
Offense,
I definitely hope we kept
clean
them as well.
I don't care about offense.
Yeah,
wipe it clean.
I mean, the only person I did want to keep, I think, also already moved on, which is Rob Sale. I think I liked Rob Sale a bit better than most other Giants fans, but he's already gone. So, yeah, just get new coaches across the board, I guess, with that one.
Yeah, a lot of Garrett guys, a lot of Judge guys. But with that being said, something I'm also looking into, and someone brought it up on Twitter the other day. Obviously, general managers and stuff like to bring in some of their guys from their old job. Let me tell you something. Buffalo has a lot of, and I'm not saying that we're going to go after every free agent Buffalo has, but there's an enticing list of free agents that Buffalo has. Jerry Hughes, Mario Addison, Vernon Butler, and we need a defensive tackle, at least in my opinion, because Dexter Lawrence, we'll see how he does, Leonard Williams, but we need somebody who's not Danny Shelton.
I re-sign our boy Austin Johnson, who's been a pleasant surprise this year, I think.
I definitely would. I think, and I know people criticized him and Devontae Booker for the contracts they got from Gettleman, but boy, in my opinion, they
worked out. They worked out.
Emmanuel Sanders, I mean, that's a long shot, but yeah, that's another free agent name. Mitchell Trubisky, I mean, him as a backup, competent backup, I can actually see. They have a couple of backup offensive linemen in Ryan Bates and Ike Buttiker. I wouldn't mind them. Levi Wallace maybe as an extra corner, but I don't think we need that. Matt Breida as an extra running back. You know, we could always take another chance on Bobby Hart, JK.
We already did get a Buffalo guy, Antonio Williams, from Buffalo, for Joe Shane's first move as their manager, actually, before he signed Brian Daboll.
Yeah, so maybe he comes in and replaces Gary Brightwell. I mean, that was something. But yeah, they have an interesting list of free agents. And my problem with Brian Flores, and I probably have mentioned it before, I'm going to say it again, is that obviously he did great with the defense. I thought it was very under-talented, but just well coached on the defensive side of the ball in Miami. I feel like a lot of Giant fans who wanted Daniel Jones the hell out of the building and didn't want him as a bridge quarterback, they just wanted Flores to try to really force the front office's hand into Deshaun Watson. That obviously was never going to happen either way because Mara said, yeah, we're not trading for Watson. So I feel like that was a lot of, Giants fans going to Flores and just being the opposite hand.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing, and listen, I'm not trying to judge anything, but Joe Shane seems like if Brian Flores pushed, he would either, obviously fire him, or he would be a little timid in forcing, the Giants to make the move that Brian Flores wants. I just didn't want the aggression. And, all this, oh, well, he's going to change. He's going to change his philosophy. And he's more conservative on fourth down. And obviously, yeah, Brian Daboll could be conservative because he did learn a little bit from the Belichick coaching tree. And then he moved to Buffalo and, obviously spent time with Nick Saban. But with that being said, I just would like Brian Daboll better. And I like Brian Daboll better than Brian Flores. I think Flores would honestly be a fit. And this is a little weird. Brian Flores would be a fit with the Texans. Maybe he gets a good defensive coordinator over there. If Pep Hamilton stays, but it may not be the case because he's maybe going to the Bears for Justin Fields. But if Pep Hamilton stays for whatever reason, and you get Joe Judge as special teams coach, that team is not all bad. But with that being said, I'm just really excited, for the future of this team. With that being said, though, I'm not holding any expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I did with the Shermer era. I did it with the Judge era. I'm not holding any expectations. If Joe Shane comes in and impresses me in his first year, I have to see progress. I'm not going to say, "Oh, well, second year we have to be a playoff team." I'm not going to say that. It depends on the progress. I don't really have a problem with Joe Shane being, a little nervous in his presser because, well, he was a Giant fan growing up. This is his probably dream job of many. But, as long as he could do the job, as I said, overall, very excited. I'm not holding any expectations, though, because I don't want to be let down again.
Mm-hmm. And Alex, if that was your last thought, I agree with you because I think I've said it several times already as well. We could all be excited about it. I'm not telling anybody not to be excited, not to just love this signing and fawn over it, but definitely just wait until the season hits. I forgot which caller said it. It was a recent one that said they got to see what they do in the draft and free agency. Let's see what they do in September. Forget draft and free agency. Let's see how the team performs
Products on the field
in September. Exactly. At the end of the day, product on the field is what we got to judge. But I think we should all enter with the mindset of the no preconceived notion, basically, is what we should enter with. So I agree with you there, man.
Yeah.
And Alex, thank you for calling. Like I said, I don't mean it to seem like I'm rushing anybody. It's just towards the end. Guys, check out Big Blue in the Bronx's channel. Check out the Boys in the Big Apple podcast. Anything else, anything new? Other than Boys in the Big Apple?
Nothing new. If you like Yankees content, obviously, check out NYY News TV. It's a new organization I'm a part of for Yankee content. My brother podcast with me for Twin Bill. It's Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And if you like hearing from Major League managers, former Major League manager Ozzie Guillen is also a part of our crew. So that's a new thing. But I appreciate you having me on, and let's hope the Giants are actually, a solid team this season, and maybe they, show us some progress. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man. But Alex, have a good one, and let me get the final caller of the day, guys, and I'm gonna end it out. We got DJ. He managed to call back in. What's up, DJ?
Yo, what's poppin', bro?
Mm-hmm.
What's good, man? What's going on, my guy? Yo, man.
I'm feeling good, man.
No expectations, obviously, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, man. That's number one, man. Number one, very excited. Very excited. I'm gonna watch Bill's highlights for the rest of the off season. You know what I'm saying? See how they were gonna use our weapons, man. Daniel. All right. Ken Dorsey.
Listen. But before you continue, isn't this what I said should happen? Give him the 4th year with a good hand. And isn't this what I said? Isn't this what I've been telling you, DJ? DJ, just yes or no. Haven't I been telling you this for months?
You said it for months. You wanted you thought Brian Daboll. You said Brian Daboll could get the best out of Daniel Jones. I said,
give him a line, which is what it looks like they about to do.
Play caller, give him a good staff, give him a line. See what he do. Listen, I don't expect Daniel Jones to be dropping 35, 40 TDs next year. I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe he's going to be the star. Maybe he might. Who knows? Who knows how great he'll be under the staff? You know what I'm saying?
But he's definitely going to be better than 11 touchdowns.
I have no expectations for this team next year at all. I'm going into this year I'll be at week 1. I'm going to week 1 if it's home. You know what I'm saying? I'll be there for sure. Opening day. But listen, man, it's fresh air. It's exciting. I gotta see what they do in the draft. I wanted a stopgap personally. I'm not the biggest Jones fan. Obviously, you know that. But I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. I don't have my hopes high, but I'm gonna see what he does. But if he don't, this is what I wanted it. This is what I don't want him to take a quarterback this year. No. This year, no quarterback at all. Not even in the top 1 through 7 at all. I want them to wait till the following year if Jones fails. If Jones fails, I don't listen. Number 1, no quarterback this year. Number 2, no 5th-year option. Do not pay him the 5th-year option in May or June, when it is. I don't want to be tight. I don't want to be mad about that. All right, cool. O-line. O-line, fix the line. Like you said, Hub, we don't need 5 Pro Bowls. All we need is a center and a right tackle. So one side left Thomas, and the other side is another right tackle. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Maybe Emmanuel Sanders is intriguing, but he's old, and I don't know if you want if you would want
Keep
to
John
come
Ross.
to a
Keep John
rebuild
Ross.
team. Yeah, just keep John Ross. If you can't keep John Ross, Daboll, then go ahead and get get Sanders with whatever. Like I said, man, no expectations. Obviously, defensively, I don't know what Buffalo runs over there. I don't know if it's 4-3. I hope it's 4-3. We need to go back to the 4-3 defense. That's what we need to go back to. But depending how they do things, I don't know. But Patrick Graham might come back. I mean, I guess, but I didn't like the soft zone that he to do in like 2 minutes remaining, give up touchdowns and stuff like that. But
I was about to say that's a great point you
I'll
brought up
move on.
there just now.
I'll move on.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be mad if Graham comes back, but there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. I keep bringing up the fact that his defense takes a month to click,
Yeah,
but something
nah,
everybody else is forgetting is that we are terrible in the last 2 minutes in the first half. We were the worst team by far. We gave up probably like 80 to 90 points this season in the last 2 minutes in the first half, and that is on the defense.
Yeah, we was. And then I would say, bro, Don Martin though, that's a good pickup. Obviously, Baltimore has had a top 5 defense with him almost the whole entire season. I think this past year he had a lot of injuries, so I do feel like John Harbaugh. Yeah, John. I do feel like John Harbaugh kind of let him go over because he couldn't do nothing with a bunch of backups, whatever. It is what it is. Maybe it was time to move on over there, but I'm just happy, man. I'm happy that we can get Daboll. Hopefully we get Ken Dorsey. Obviously Ken Dorsey and Daboll works perfectly fine.
Mhm.
I expected to score more points. Now that I expected to score more than like 13, 14 points a game and shit. Like I expect that. That's what I
Mhm.
believe. I expect that. But wins losses total, I'm not going into predicting nothing. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm going with it as an approach of I cannot judge them yet. Because at the end of the day, they don't have their quarterback. If Jones is back, and at the end of the day, they don't have. I gotta see a roster. I gotta see 3 years. Like I gotta see 3 years in order to judge and say, did we make this right or did we make this wrong? Same
Mhm.
thing goes with us. Same thing goes with Chicago or whatever. What teams did this year to get new coaches. I'm giving them these guys 3 years. So that's how I feel right now, man. And I'm just excited. You know what I'm saying? I think Daboll's the man. I think Daboll. I think if Daboll, I think Daboll could be our McVay, Shanahan, Reed. Hopefully,
But
you know
like
what
I
I'm
said,
saying?
like you said,
I don't
don't put
want to.
no
I don't
expectations.
want to put pressure on it. You know what I'm saying? But just the way how, but offensive coordinator is what we needed, and not only we need an offensive coordinator, bro. We needed one of the best offensive coordinators in the league, and I feel like I feel like Daboll is one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. Now the con is, can he lead men? Can he know how to get a 50-man roster together? Can he lead men? Can you have a game plan? Stuff like that. But I'm just excited for him, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, hopefully we fix the offensive line. Hopefully we get some pass rushers come in here, some rookies, and hopefully we could plan for today and build for tomorrow. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that listen, man, I already know this is gonna be a rebuild year. So I'm not coming in with higher expectations. Feel me? I'm not gonna be Eagles fans and say, "Oh, we're going to the playoffs." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Feel me? I'm gonna be approached. I'm gonna be patient. I'm I'm gonna see what he is. I'm gonna see his press conference, which I'll come back and probably I think his press conference is like what next week probably. But yeah. But listen, have excited, man, and go Giants, bro. I
Hey
didn't know
man,
I didn't mean to
yeah, go
throw
ahead.
you up because I know that you had to go. You know what I'm saying? So for
Hey
sure,
TJ, appreciate the call in, man. I'm agreeing with everything
yo,
you saying. What's up?
for sure, bro. I'll definitely Twitter, my guy, definitely. Most
For
definitely,
sure,
bro.
man. And like you
You
said,
too.
no expectations. Let's get it right this time. And let's give him time,
Yeah, for
bro.
sure, for sure. I'ma just enjoy the weekend and enjoy these conference championship games, man. Know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, for sure, man. Have a good one, bro.
You too, bro.
And guys, with that, I'm gonna end the stream. I want to say thank you to everybody in here. I see Calvin. What's up, Calvin? Easy Lopez, Mac Deception. Too many people. I'm tired, but I want to give you guys, all of y'all in the chat, a shout out. It was a great turnout tonight. At one point, we were up to like 140. That was absolutely crazy. I don't think I've ever had that many people in a stream. But thank you all for tuning in. Um, Without you guys, the channel doesn't happen. These streams aren't possible, and I don't have fans calling in to share their thoughts. If you're new, you know what I'm saying, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And if you aren't new, still do those things, hit the notification bell. But that's it for